After 7 races and 8 energy-sapping months, the 2023 Men's World Triathlon Championship Series is on a knife edge. It'll come down to tactics, nerve and skill in equal measure. And in 2 hours' time, we'll know who's taken the title. So there's no other place to be. It'll unravel right here, right now in Pontevedra, and you'll see it happen live. 3 different continents we've been to. Abu Dhabi was the start. Staying in Asia for Yokohama, then Europe in Cagliari, North America took in Montreal, and then back to Europe for Hamburg, Sunderland, and now Pontevedra. Well, 2 men have dominated the series so far. Hayden Wilde of New Zealand, Great Britain's Alex Yee. Here's our season recap. Me, Trevor Harris alongside Helen Jenkins. Yee set an early marker in Abu Dhabi, Helen.
He did. Yee took the win, but Hayden Wilde had a puncture and unfortunately he did finish the race, but way down the field.
In Yokohama, it was very, very wet, but Hayden Wilde was dominant and beat Hauser and Velasa, although Alex Yee wasn't there. Even the rain didn't stop the Maltese Falcon.
And in Cagliari, we got that battle. We got the Yee versus Wilde that we've been waiting for, and it was Alex Yee that managed to get the win. But it all came down to the last 400 metres, where Yee managed to get the better of Wilde.
The big 2 were absent in Montreal in June. Matt Hauser taking down Messias and Gaines, although Vasco Velasa was only 30th after crashing on the bike. That lost him vital points.
And then we went to Hamburg with the inaugural Super Sprint World Championships, and it was Hayden Wilde for the first time managed to beat Alex Yee in a World Championship Series race.
A couple of weeks after that, Sunderland hosted its first ever championship race. Alex Yee wasn't there, Hayden Wilde was, but he couldn't take gold, beaten by Lecour and Berger, the 2 Frenchmen, in a thrilling sprint finish. And then in the Paris test event, Yee came back for the win. Wilde was out early on the run. So here's how we currently stand at the end of all that endeavour. Fewer than 60 points separate Alex Yee from Hayden Wilde. And with more points on offer for this upcoming grand final than in any other event, it means that if either wins today, they will be world champion for the very first time. Let's check out the course they'll be tackling. Full Olympic distance, obviously, for this grand final. 1,500 metres in the water, 2 equal laps. Then it's onto the bikes for a 40k ride, 8 laps. They begin following the banks of the Lérez River. They head on to the out and back section, featuring a 180. And then a couple of left-hand turns take them back towards the river. Mostly flat, 1 small climb and 1 minor descent on each lap. On to the run after transitioning in the stadium. 4 laps make up the 10k distance. It's a really scenic route that takes them through the old town, and again, pretty flat. Weather-wise, well, we had some rain earlier in the week, but it's fine and sunny today, just after 5 o'clock local time. Nearly 30 degrees centigrade, as you can see, mid-80s Fahrenheit, and just a very light northeasterly breeze. Well, here's the start list with the 2 favourites at the top, but of course we said that last year in the grand final in Abu Dhabi, and neither won. 8 in the field can mathematically take the title, but realistically, a quartet of men are in the hunt. So, forget John Paul, George and Ringo. In 2023, here are Triathlon's Fab 4.
Welcome to Pontevedra, the 4 of you. How have you been handling the pressure in the last few weeks coming up to this race?
I've been in this situation 2 other times and it's not gone the way I've wanted, so I'm not going to put any pressure on this. Like, the big goal for this year was Paris and to perform there. So hopefully if I can just take as much confidence as I can from there. I'm hugely appreciative to the guy sitting next to me and the other 65 on the start line. Like, I wouldn't be the same human being without them, because they push me day in, day out and motivate me to be a better athlete. So I think it's a privilege to stand on that start line with those guys and just give it a good go.
if it was raining, I think there'd be more crashes on the run than on the bike because it's that technical, which is really nice. A bit of a kicker in the run leg too. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, I think it's just the harder the course, the better it is in the end, because I think the chance of the best person on the day coming out with the best results is way higher, because I mean, the tougher it is, the bigger the gaps get between everyone, and it makes the race even more fair.
So what is in the menu for this week? Because I guess that you're not the underdog
tell
anymore.
us.
You can't, you can't. The magician never explains the trick, otherwise they're gonna get you.
No secret, strategy. Just race hard from the gun, and I think we are all super motivated to have a strong race, a tough one, and the course is great for that type of racing.
So have you all done the maths?
No, you guys did it for us. That was great. It was just too complicated for me. So I just looked and I was like, man, even Maddie can win. How good? There's 8 guys that can win. Potentially, if everything turns into a disaster for us, there's other guys waiting for us. It's if you have a bad day in the office, it could be quite detrimental to the whole result.
Fascinating. I think the camaraderie probably ends on that sofa as we look at Alex Yee. Hardly put a foot wrong this season, has he, Helen?
No, his big aim for the year was Paris, and he accomplished that goal. So it feels like the pressure's off a little bit for him today. You can just go out there, just see what happens, and try and come away with that World Championship win.
Well, Hayden Wild obviously had that incident in Paris. He crashed on the way to the venue the day before the race, pulled out on the run, but we know how good he is on his day. He's very, very focused. It's going to be a fascinating battle. And Vasco Villasa, he's been in every race, Helen. He's so consistent. He is not out of this.
I mean, look at that. 3 seconds and a third. He has the potential today to take this title. It's just if he can maybe beat the other 2, but if something goes wrong, he can step in there and become world champion.
Leo Berger, who overturned a deficit of more than 350 points in the grand final last year, so who's to say he can't do it again? He should be first man on the bike out of those in contention.
Yeah, he's a great swimmer. He'll be looking to use that to his advantage today.
And Christian Blumenfeld, who now has told us he's going to concentrate solely on this form of short course racing. You just never discount him, ever.
No, you can't. And his focus is now on the Olympic Games and trying to qualifying and trying to win again.
Morgan Pearson right back to form with that win you see there at Karlovy Vary just a couple of weeks ago. And he had a good test event, and he's running like the wind.
Yeah, a good test event, which has got him his Olympic selection for next year. So that's a massive weight off his shoulders and gives him a bit of freedom to kind of go and race as he wants here today.
Well, just a little bit of background. Obviously, I mentioned there's not many points separating Yee and Wild. So whoever beats the other probably will win, although there are all kinds of other mathematical calculations. If Villasa wins this race, he will be the world champion if Yee is 4th or worse and Wild is 3rd or worse. We'll kind of keep you up to date with these issues as they become relevant. Leo Berger, well, if he wins the race, Yee's got to finish 8th or worse and Wild 7th or worse, and Villasa 5th or lower. It gets like A-level mathematics.
There's so many different situations. Yeah. And last year, though, we were like, Yee versus Wild, this is what's going to happen. And then Berger went and won because, Hayden Wild slipped down the field, so anything could happen.
That's what makes Grand Final Day so fascinating. Yes, these guys have been incredibly consistent, but if they have an incident on the bike, anyone can get a puncture, anyone can have a rough swim, and all of a sudden, it's wide open again, exactly as we saw in Abu Dhabi at the back end of last year.
Well, and even for Hayden Wild heading down to the test event in Paris to crash on the way there, and he gave it everything to try and get out there, but he just couldn't finish the run. Dorian Connix, who got 3rd in Paris, so in really good shape coming to this race.
Now, Matt Hauser, who didn't race in Paris, he unfortunately got COVID. That actually let Morgan Pearson in, and he finished 6th to qualify for the Olympics. So that's how quickly things can change. Someone's bad luck is another man's good fortune. Lacour, who we saw win that race in Sunderland, that thrilling finish.
I know, his first World Series win. I mean, it's taken a while. It's been a while coming, but at 33 to get that win is very impressive.
Tim Helvig, who already has booked his ticket for Paris. next year. And of course, that's the subplot, as well as who's going to win the world title. Big Olympic points on offer today, and there are some of these athletes that can literally stamp their ticket for Paris.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of different subplots, different qualifications that athletes have to try and meet. We just sort of see Martin van Riel there coming out. So for him, just I think any top 12, top 8 within this, maybe it's top 9, I think, for Belgium in the series is a really good start.
Just scrolling the runners and riders for you at the bottom of the screen. It is a big field today, as ever, for a grand final. 66 men taking their chance.
Jonas Schomburg just getting that first ever World Cup podium recently. That was a great interview afterwards. So emotional and so happy with that performance.
He was absolutely stoked, wasn't he, with getting on that podium. Surat Soani, of course, on home soil here.
Yeah, he's from Vigo, so not very far away. I'm sure he's got a lot of support. There's really big crowds come out to watch. The age group World Championships are on. The super sprint was on yesterday. There's standard distance too. So para, there's just so much buzz around the town, and everywhere you look is triathletes.
And apparently we are in the presence of royalty here today, because Javier Gomez is here. He lives here, the 5-time world champion, 2012 Olympic silver medalist, an absolute legend in these parts, is here taking in the action.
Well, the king of Pontevedra, I would say. He brings his own crowd here. People come just to see him.
Apparently he's playing with his band at some point tonight somewhere. Richard Murray, one of the great characters of triathlon.
Yeah, Murray's got to get a top 8 here to get that Olympic selection. It's a tough challenge for him. He has got that. He got a 6th in Sunderland, but it's going to be tough to do it today. But if he comes in good form, he's got a chance.
Sarzilla, even at 35, a real competitor. You might have seen him get on the podium recently in a World Cup race. Morgan Pearson, we mentioned earlier, who comes here in really good form. Paquet of Canada's actually had a decent season too.
He did. His best result was in Montreal. He needs another good result to kind of stamp his selection for Canada.
Johnny Brownlee's run is going to be spotlighted today. We haven't seen him produce his best so far this year.
Yeah, Johnny Brown, he hasn't produced it on a World Champ Series. He's been racing well at Super League the last few weeks, so whether he can convert that form here today to Olympic distance.
Yeah, and with the improved form of Barclay Izzard, Brownlee J is not an insta-pick for the Olympic Games next year. Mark Devey, who, like Schomburg, got his first World Cup podium medal in Karlovy Vary a fortnight back.
That's interesting. We've got Devey, Passati going out very close together, Hojo as well. A lot of good swimmers, all going to maybe very close together on that pontoon.
Priester, who's had a couple of World Cup podiums of late.
He's been racing a lot. He didn't know he was going to get into this race. He was on the wait list because there were already Germans ahead of him, but he has rolled on. And so, yeah, he's got a lot of racing in his legs, but sometimes that helps.
Yeah, and he's a great competitor, isn't he, Priester?
Good spot there for Velasa. He's right next to Mark Devey. So that's quite a really handy place to be, because you know the swimmer next to you is pretty much one of the ones that's out of the water almost first every time. So good positioning there.
Obviously today is all about the honour and the glory, but there's a lot of money at stake. $30,000 for the winner of this race, and an additional 70,000 for the winner of the overall series.
Yeah, and for the minor places in this series, really important for those athletes as well that don't often earn that much. You can really get a decent payday by finishing well in the series. Max Stapley's first ever World Championship Series final. Arnaud Mangel, he was in the team that got third in Paris, the mixed team relay team, Belgium. They had an incredible performance there.
And last but not least, Itamar Eshed of Israel, who was going to go in the under-23 race, but has got to start here. And that makes up the field of 66 men. And as I mentioned, we'll keep you up to date with the various permutations as they become relevant, but that man knows if he wins here, he is the world champion, regardless of anything else that happens. Alex, he obviously can say the same. Time is just ticking round to 5:20, which is the official start time. Apparently Javier Gomez reckons the left side is the place to start, and he should know.
Is that left as we're looking at it now, or from above?
I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that. The heartbeat tells us the start is moments away. There'll be a few increased heartbeats, I reckon, on that podium. The finale of the season is underway, the grand final for 2023. And if it's even half as good as it was last year, it's going to be an absolute thriller.
Yeah, and in non-wetsuit swim today, yesterday at the swim recce, there was a lot of athletes who were cold. Most people were wearing the wetsuit, so it has significantly increased a few degrees over the well, today really it's been so much warmer than they've seen. So I think a lot of the top swimmers are going to prefer that. There may be athletes who will be wishing that they were in a wetsuit, but I think most of them are happy non-wetsuit today.
21.3 degrees, the water temperature. And the first buoy doesn't come up till about 350 odd metres. So they've got a little bit of a chance just to sort themselves out as we watch Matt Hauser.
Now, Hauser's a great swimmer, and Montreal was where he won his World Series this year, but he led out the swim there as well. He was right up there all the way through the race, really took control, and yeah, been able to deliver that performance. But he'll be so disappointed he didn't get to race in Paris with COVID, and obviously it's taken him a little while to recover it. He's done a few Super League races since, not felt 100%, so I think he's really good coming here, and he's had a bit of a chance to hopefully recover and deliver his best performance today.
Just saw going out of shot number 4, Leo Berger was prominent. And for Berger, if he wants to have any chance of repeating, well, that magnificent kind of, it wasn't a steal, that's the wrong word. He snatched the title away out the hands of Yi and Weil. But if he wants to do it again, you fancy he's got to give himself a decent lead out the water. And hopefully, from his point of view, get some bikers that can help him stay away.
Yeah, that's what happened in the series final last year, wasn't it? They had, I think, about a group of 7 or 8, and they managed to get away, and it wasn't a huge gap, but that gap is enough. Leo Berger doesn't need a massive amount of time. I think it has been, every 10K we've seen, Yi or Wild has been about 30 seconds ahead of most of the field on the run. So that's, if you can get over that over 30 seconds, then, yeah, you might have a shot at winning this thing.
Great sportsmanship in triathlon. And as far as we hear, it was a clean start. 15-second time penalties in operation this afternoon. Yeah, in that breakaway group that you were just mentioning, Helen, a year ago in Abu Dhabi, Vincent Luis was a big part of that. And of course, he's not in this race. The former double world champion injured. Might have seen in the Paris test event. Which is a great pity. It's a pity for him, obviously, but I think also from Berger's point of view, it's not great.
No, I think we're missing that driving force. So almost like a general, the captain of the front group that really motivates and get that group working. Because quite often in the races, we've seen a small group get away, but they never seem to be able to hold it. But partly that's due to the bike strength coming from behind. You have these incredibly strong riders like Christian Blumenfeld, who are pulling up packs from behind the whole way. So it's, yeah, there is that dynamic as well. But I do think there's probably not enough... maybe not enough firepower in that front group at the moment for them to be able to break away.
Well, time will tell. I think it's going to be a quick time this afternoon. We saw, if you're with us for the under-23 World Championship race, I think winning time was around 1:45, so it's going to be obviously faster than that.
We just saw, so Matt Hauser's leader and Tim Helvig's up there as well, number 10. He's had a really good year. I mean, a 4th in Montreal, I think a couple of other top 10s as well. Number 4 there, Leo Berger. A lot of those yellow hats, that signifies the top 10 are up there. So they've had a long time to sort themselves out before the first buoy, but there's not much time between the turn. It's a really short distance, so we could end up with a lot of congestion when they start turning. So the distance between the turn here is really short. No problem for the athletes at the front, though. They have a bit of clear water, able to drive round.
You mentioned Helvig. I mean, it's been a really quick transition from him in terms of under 23 to elite, was second in the grand final, under 23 grand final in Edmonton just a couple of years ago. 3 top 10s this term, including a 4th in Montreal. That was only his 3rd race of the year. So he's a genuine player and a good biker too. So he may be someone that'll give the likes of Berger and Hauser a bit of help up the front.
Yeah, and he said he's had a really good training block recently. He's been at altitude since Paris and really feels really good, really focused. He's got that Olympic selection as well. So I think that does take a bit of weight off. He's able to come here and just kind of go for it. He's not in contention to win the World Championship, but I mean, to get a good result here, a good payday and obviously good points.
Just got a shot of the series leader, Alex Yee. He looks to be going okay, just behind the main group.
I think that's Jonas Schomburg there. Yeah, it is. Yeah, just tucked in onto the feet there.
I was looking at Alex Yee actually, Helen, in terms of, you know, how far he comes out the water on average behind the leaders. It's around about half a minute, although in Paris in that test event it was only 20 seconds.
I think it's getting closer to the front, isn't it? He's improving, as with Wild as well. I mean, I think we had that season recap earlier, and Wild was really close in Yokohama, and he said it was the first time rather than chasing Leo Berger, they were working together on the bike in the same group. So I think really we've seen a step up in their swimming over the last year, which they need to do. They're going for medals again. They've already got a silver. Alex got a silver. Hayden's got a bronze. They want to go next year and get another one. They both want that gold next year.
There was a feeling, wasn't there, when Alex Yee first came into triathlon that he was a fabulous runner. He's always been that. Now, he's a genuine 3-discipline triathlete.
Yeah, I think he is, and it's taken a few years, which is, I think, perfectly understandable. It's obviously it takes a few years to develop, but we are seeing him up there in the swim, and always he's strong on the bike. We don't always see him because sometimes the best place to be if it's a big pack is sat in, kind of conserving energy, but he does have that bike strength, and I think if he's feeling good, you'll be seeing him at the front of the bike today. We'll see him contributing. He's always stays in a good position. He's a really, really smart racer, good race IQ.
Well, just to give you an idea of his consistency, he's only been off the podium twice in his last 11 top-level individual races, at least the ones he's finished, and that goes back 16 months, and he's won 7 of them. So that is the extent of the task that Hayden Wild and the likes of Velassa and Berger have on their hands this afternoon, as we watch Hauser going beautifully at the front.
It's such a wide group at the moment. Just that when we saw that overhead shot, there's no sign of any breakaway at the moment. Very, stuck together. That may change over the second lap. There's so many athletes there, all trying to swim. That's a tough place to be because the athletes in the middle, they really can't get into their rhythm or their stroke. They're just kind of stuck in that position. Vasco Velassa is in the middle there. Songa Lehman there as well, number 9. Another strong swimmer. Again, another athlete who's had a really strong year. A couple of top 10s. But yeah, currently no sign of any break. And I say it may happen on this second lap.
Yeah, 2 equal laps of 750 metres to make up this Olympic distance in the water. We've seen some lightning quick swims this season as well.
That's 7, isn't it? That's Christian Blumenfeld there, right on the edge of that group. So it's a tidal river as well, so there will be currents either way, but it's not particularly strong. If you watch the Paris test event, the current was significantly stronger there, but it still will have an effect on the race. But the athletes aren't able to kind of go to the edge of the river and swim. They have to kind of stay within the buoys.
So coming out to complete their first lap, Matt Hauser is first out. Excellent swim from the Aussie, just under 9 minutes. We knew that Schomburg was there. Lacour is never far away, is he? Great swim from Neja and Tom Richard. Berger only 9 seconds off the pace, along with Helvig. Velassa is right there. That's important.
Henry Schumann as well, Martin Van Riel, who's actually had a really bad shoulder injury recently, so it's great to see him up there.
There's Lorchuk, quarter minute back. We're just looking to see Ying and Wild in particular. Where are they? Johnny Brownlee 18 seconds off the pace. Pearson solid again.
Everyone's out within such a short time.
Haven't seen Yi or Wild go through it. There's Wild. 24, they're both together. 24 seconds back.
So it's not a massive difference in time. 24 seconds, but it is a lot of positions. There's a lot there.
Well, all you'd say is if, and the key word in this sentence is if, but if those at the front can exercise the same domination over Yi and Wild in the water on this second lap, you could have a scenario where, you know, there's a 45-second lead for, who knows, 5, 6, 7 of them on the bike. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's maybe a couple of seconds, around 6 or 7 athletes, but there's so many in that middle section. It's really deep. We've got all the athletes out within 30 seconds pretty much of each other.
You can see there, it's like single file at the front and then just a mass of men in behind. There they are, side by side, Alex Yi, Hayden Wild. Not sure that they're deliberately watching each other. It's just, and they are very similar, have very similar times in the water generally. So it's no real surprise that they're swimming together.
No, it's no surprise, but yeah, it was unusual for them to be kind of just side by side at that point, although obviously not intentional. So Hauser at the front, and he's got to really stretch out this second lap. I mean, he will have had a glance behind, as you always do when you come out, and seen that kind of long line of people behind him. And that's not what he wants. He really wants that smaller group to work with. A lot of the French are well up there as well. We had Lecour, Koenig, Tom Richard as well, Taylor Reid, who's like an incredibly strong swimmer and biker. So they've got the potential, they've got the athletes up near the front to definitely have that group to get it going, but this second lap's massively important.
Well, there could be a really strong French presence in that lead group maybe. I know it's still early, but the likes of Lecour and Koenigs and Leo Berger, there's some bike power in that threesome. I certainly don't think Wild and Yi would want to be much further back than 3/4 of a minute as we look at Lecour.
No, Martin van Riel's up there as well. So he didn't actually compete in Paris because he came off his bike and I think a chain slipped and went over his handlebars and bruised his ribs. I think a fracture in his scapula as well. So he's had a really rough build. Quite a lot of bad luck really over the last year. He had quite a nasty injury that took a long time to heal. So it's great to see him here racing. And he's someone that can really have an impact on the race. I imagine his shoulder might have taken him out of swimming, but he's really strong on the bike and he's really going to really force the pace and try and do something. We often see him kind of really attacking. So it'd be exciting to see him come out near the front.
Finished second overall a couple of years ago, Martin van Riel. And that year he was second in the grand final in Edmonton. Got another medal in Leeds that season too. Hauser clearly with a point to prove in the water here. We're 13 minutes in, well into this second lap on the swim.
Yeah, normally we'd expect Mark Tveit to be up there, but just having a look down, he's about to look down the list. He was about 20 seconds down, so really we'd probably see him swim through, but it's a long way from 20 seconds down to make your way to the front of the group.
Yeah, especially with some of the stellar swimmers that are near the front. Those three included. A great view looking from the bridge.
It's a good course to spectate on the swim because you've got both banks of the river. There's a couple of bridges as well, so a really spectator-friendly swim, which is not often the case, is it?
No, and the race will finish in the Athletic Stadium. And just a little earlier, when the under-23 race was on, there were some locals looking out of the French windows of their flats that overlook the stadium, getting a absolutely fantastic view. That's not a bad view either, is it, from our drone? Just look at the body of men in the middle of that
I know, so it's
swimmers.
really stringing out, but some men are almost heading straight for the boys. They're really going to have to cut in that last minute to back into the pack. But Hauser's plan is working. He's stretching it out, and maybe no big gaps, but I think from the men's racing we've seen before, you don't need much. You just need a second or two. That one sort of athlete that lets a bit of a gap go, has a slightly slower transition, and they have that ability.
Well, you might have heard Hayden Wilde in that little interview clip we showed you earlier in our build-up say Hauser potentially could be world champion, and that's true. We won't go through all the permutations. It's possible. It's very, very unlikely. Would need all those ahead of him, or most of those ahead of him, to have a bit of a disaster. But as I say, we'll keep you up to date with all the relevant permutations as we go through the race. It's raced by this swim. We're 15 minutes in already. They'll only be in the water for, what, another couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes?
There's a small gap after this group. It's not very big, but after number 57 there's a little bit of a gap. 57, Nabel from Austria.
Hauser, on average, has been 15 seconds back out the water over the last couple of years in Olympic distance races. So this is exceeding expectations for him so far.
Yeah, he had a podium in Yokohama last year, didn't he? But it's hasn't done many of them so far. Oh.
Yeah, a little bit of a tumble there for Hayden Wilde coming out the water at the end of lap 1.
So not far from the swim exit at this point.
His heart would have just skipped a beat when he went down there. He's okay.
Yeah, and I think it's just I suppose the bit of bad luck he's had recently, isn't it? That crash on the way to Paris, and one of the Super League races recently wasn't happy with a penalty that was given, and I think that little bit of adversity can really fire someone up that he hasn't had those races he wants, and he's definitely got that fire there to go out there and prove that he can kind of go and win this race.
Yeah, don't think lack of confidence has ever been his problem, has it? And you've got to have that belief in your own ability.
Yeah, and I think from that interview we saw with all 4 athletes, the top four at the moment, they've all got that belief. But I love the respect they all have for each other, and they, they're all better because they're pushing each other at the moment. So it's great to see. But as soon as they get out on race course, yeah, it's everyone for themselves, and yeah, just go. But that respect does carry on. Wow, look at the crowds building.
Well, they are going to get a fantastic view shortly, because not long left for these leaders in the water. And then we will kind of be at the first stage. How many can get away in the lead group, and how far will they be clear of the likes of Ian Wilde? That's the 2 critical bits of information we're going to get very shortly. And you can see it's hardly any run at all.
About 200 metres, because they've got to run down the length of it. So not massive, but enough for anyone kind of stuck a few positions back. They've got if they really attack the transition, they can pull back a few spots and really move themselves up. We see when we see the transition board who are the fastest that you can sometimes pull back 10 spots by just having a really good transition.
So inside 18 minutes, Hauser is out. We know Schomburg and Lacour right there with him. Another little slip there.
That was Skuman, wasn't it? Great swim from him. He's right up there.
Konig's in the vicinity.
Very small gap. Torn, Helvig, great swims from them. Here's the gap.
Fair
the last are just on the wrong side of it. It looks slippy. Tentative steps for a few of these athletes. There's Pearson, along with Brownlee. He's there together. 2 strong riders there. Should have no problem getting to that front. There's Blumenfeld coming out.
So, how far back Yee? How far back Wilde? It was 24 seconds after the first lap.
We didn't see them come out of the water then, did we? They're not out yet.
It's going to be pretty close to double that deficit, I reckon. Maybe more.
Yellow Games out in front of them. There you go, Alex Yee, Wilde.
Exactly double, 48 seconds.
Yes, and together as well. Antonio Serrat as well, kind of one of the strong favourite, got the crowd behind him today, one of the favourites for the Spanish team. Quite far down out the swim. Good transition from Hauser, out first.
So critically, Berger was only 9 seconds down. Vasco Villasa, another man who could take the title, remember, not very far behind.
No,
and if he gets into this lead group, it's game on.
It's game on, and there's a little bit of danger there. There's a few gaps opening up. Martin van Riel, they're just heading out. There's Johnny Brownlee. I think Pearson had a really good transition. Pearson looked like he made up quite a few spots.
It's so rarely straightforward in a grand final. And inside 20 minutes of this race, Alex Yee there and Hayden Wilde have questions to answer. Can they make up this gap?
Yeah, the two of them are together. I think that's a positive for the two of them. They can work together. They know this world title's on the line, so they're going to work together to get themselves back close to the front. They're not too far off Christian Blumenfeld as well, which is, you know, he's one of the strongest riders in the field. So you've got to be looking where Blumenfeld is when you're coming out of transition.
Well, there are the gainers and losers. Noble lost 4 spots. Not too much drama, really. Berger good. We'd expect that. And Pearson makes up 6
Yeah,
places.
I thought he had a good transition. I saw him coming out. He definitely, because he was similar to Johnny Brownlee, so he's transitioned 6 seconds faster than Brownlee, who he came out the water with.
Priester, a very good transition also, but these guys are some way back.
And now we have the hill. So this is the hill on the course. Although it's not an exceptionally big hill, there is something there. So these guys have come out the swim. They're really chasing hard. You're redlining when you come out of transition because you're just chasing down the group, the athletes in front. So to do that up a hill is obviously more challenging. And then to close down gaps on a fast downhill is also challenging. So this hill, the hill placement actually works really well to make it an exciting race, to maybe get this breakaway group away.
There's about a dozen with Hauser and then 3 just in behind.
And I think it's Velasquez in that 3. I think I saw that the Portuguese suit. I think he was there.
And I'm assuming Berger is in this leading group.
We've got Koenigs there. There's Berger.
Yeah, so this is absolutely fascinating.
I think that might be Velasquez off the back, just off the back with Thorn, Vetter Thorn from Norway. It looks like those two are really trying to drive across.
And potentially this is a really big moment. Velasquez, coming in 3rd overall, is now with that leading group.
Good timing there as well, just off the back. It just got on just before that dead turn, so he's now got the couple of seconds kind of respite while they do that turn before he has to kind of really drive hard on the downhill.
So the men lying in 3rd and 4th are doing all they have to do so far. You can see behind that main group there's a gap and then another 4 or 5 men.
You've got Brownlee at the front of this group. But I don't think Yee and Wilde are in this group. They must be in the group behind. I think this could be Blumenfeld in around here. Maybe he's made it over to the first group. Matt McElroy there in that group. There's Blumenfeld. So Yee and Wilde's not in that group either. So they are quite far down on the road currently.
And psychologically, this is massive for the likes of Berger and Vasco Villasa, the Portuguese. Because they will be getting information out there, and they will know at the moment they've got a big advantage over the 2 race favourites, or title favourites.
Just checking back what that deficit was when they came out of transition. So 44 seconds. So they've managed to make up a little bit of time, but both out of transition.
Which you would expect on that 200-metre run, probably.
Yeah.
And of course, when they come through to complete their first lap of 8, then we'll get the timings, and then we'll see exactly who is where and how far back the Brit and the New Zealander are. But from a neutral's point of view, this makes it absolutely fascinating, doesn't it? Perfectly set up now.
Yeah, and we saw then just for the front of the group, the athletes when they're on the front, they're really driving because they just want to make sure this break sticks. And there's been a lot of races this year where it hasn't. It's come back together, and that's incredibly frustrating for those athletes who are super strong on the bike and really want to show it. You've got Taylor Reid there at the front. This is his perfect scenario. The ability to get into a chase group, actually kind of empty the tank on the bike and see what's left on the run. That's what you want to do. It gives him the best shot of getting a spot overall. But so you've got a good few athletes there that could really help in that front group. these two groups look like they could be joining together soon. They're really coming together. I think this course, as you can see there, just as they're over a speed bump, there's a lot of speed bumps on the course, and it does make it challenging. I mean, you've got to be super aware. You can't lose concentration because you're on a flat road. You've got to be aware of those bumps coming up, and it might also upset the rhythm of the group when they're trying to work hard. So we've got the back of the front group now because there's Velasa and Torn. They were the athletes that managed to get over onto that group.
You're not going to believe this, Helen. Hayden Wilde has picked up a penalty for equipment out of the box. Well, as if we needed any more drama early, that is an absolute killer for the Kiwi. 15 seconds he's going to have to take account.
Oh, that's just not what he wanted, was it? I mean, and that's the pressure coming out the swim, being a bit further down than he thought, and something's gone out the box. I mean, that potentially is the World Championship over for him.
Remember, he had that penalty at the Commonwealth Games, which may have cost him a gold, you'll never know. But this is an even bigger stage, and that, well, who would have thought it?
So this is interesting. There's Hayden Wilde on the front of this group. He's got Max Stapley just on his wheel. They looks like they've almost caught up. So there's a group of 4, then the second group. But look at Wilde. I mean, he's head down on the front.
I wonder if he knows yet.
And there, he's almost caught on. I wouldn't have thought so yet. Maybe here, because they'll come in onto the athletics track, and there's coaches are going to be on the track, so they'll be the spot to see. And that must be, I think, the 3rd or 4th group on the road.
Just checking the time here for, there's Wilde, 25 seconds.
Oh, they've pulled back quite a lot already, so they've pulled back 20 seconds.
Blumenfeld is in that group. Haven't seen Alex Yee's name go past yet, though. I don't see Alex Yee's name there, Helen. So I missed it.
At 15 seconds, we've got Pizzati, Van Riel, Hidalgo. There's a group there. And then there's another 10-second gap, and we've got Wilde in there.
Yee is nearly half a minute behind Wilde now.
So
and Wilde is in the Blumenfeld group.
Yee hasn't made that group. That's interesting. I mean, the two of them came out together. We saw Hayden Wilde on the front of that group, but I would have expected Yee to be able to go with that initial pace. So that just shows how well Hayden Wilde has ridden over this first bit. But if he does know about the penalty, I think he'll take a little bit of comfort in the fact that Yee is now behind, because Yee's not, I mean, at that pace, I mean, he's 25 seconds behind the next group, and with the group he's with, I don't know if there's enough firepower in there to get them back to the front.
We haven't even had half an hour yet, and we've probably had a week's worth of drama. So Yee is now almost a minute back. Wilde riding like the wind, but with a 15-second penalty. And Berger and Vasco Velasa suddenly thinking, you know what? This might be my day, and this might be my year as potential world champion.
Wow.
You can never write a script for
you can never predict it. It's always drama, isn't it, in the grand final? So at the moment, the group we can see now, there's 14 athletes in that group, and they are about 10 seconds ahead of the next group. So that's we've got 14 at the front. Then in the next group, we've got Brownlee, Pearson. They're currently about 15 seconds back, and then we've got that group with Wilde and Blumenfeld. So 3 groups on the road currently: the top 14, the middle group, and then the Wilde Blumenfeld group. Then we've got a further 25 seconds. We've got that Yee group, but currently here, this is the first group just down the hill. We can see it's put a few of them under pressure. Everyone's safely up in that group, but it's a small gap. It's 10 seconds, and look, you can see now that it looks like it's less as they're taking that dead turn. A few of the athletes have almost jumped over to them.
Well, talk about pressure. The 2 men feeling the pressure right now are the men wearing numbers 1 and 2. Yee because he's a minute back, Wilde because he has that penalty. Oh, it's all going to unravel over the next hour and a bit.
I think that's the Yee in the Wilde group. There's Blumenfeld yet, so that's that group. I mean, they're a big group. I mean, the front group have got that advantage, but it looks like they may be caught.
Yeah, and then you have to think, what chance of Yi, who's behind those chasers, catching on, even if it is or does become a big group at the front?
It's really hard from that position to catch on. We don't see it that often with the smaller groups at the back. They tend to lose time, unless you've got a Blumenfeld or a few of those really big riders in there. I mean, Alex Yi's super strong on the bike, but he's going to need company to do that, to pull up from almost a 30-second deficit.
I mean, even if he doesn't, you wouldn't say it's over. He ran, what was that ridiculous time? 28:31 in Cagliari earlier this year. 29 dead in Paris. But it is not where he wants to be, and it's exactly where the likes of Berger and Vasco Velasco want to be.
Yeah, and we can see this group behind them is almost on. So that will change the dynamic slightly at the front. But we have, when we saw the front then, the big names are at the front pushing. We saw Velasquez up there. The French athletes are all up there because we have all the French athletes in that. Not all of them maybe. We've got Licourt, Richard, Berger, Koenigs. Yes, so they're all up there in that group, which I do think helps. But they're just about to be caught, I think, by the smaller group behind. Henry Schoeman there. It's so good to see Henry back racing. He's got that bronze medal from Rio in 2016, and he's had so many injuries and really almost career-ending problems. So it's so good to see him back racing, at the level he has been in previous years. And he was told he'd never race at this level again. So it's good to see him back there at the front pushing the pace. Dylan McCulloch there from New Zealand, just off the back of that. Looks like they're just about to make contact. So he's now at the back of that large, it was a bit larger now, front group. Michalachuk's in there as well.
So we're going to have we could have a group of about 25 or so at the front.
Yeah, 24 I think it's going to be. I think it'll be 24. Dylan McCulloch is the last one in that group. That's from our last split, which we just saw. Schomburg, Helvig. Schomburg today, a top 8 would really help with the top 8 for the Germans. If you're inside that Olympic ranking of top 30 and you get a top 8 here, it's another chance for him to qualify. And he is in that Olympic ranking top 30 currently.
Well, there you see it. Alex Yi confirmation, nearly a minute back. He's 30 seconds or so behind Hayden Wilde. Great to see these crowds. And the drama is more than we could possibly have expected, I think, at this point.
There's Matt McElroy, just at the front of that group currently. So Mark DeVay in there, not where we normally see him. I'm just at the shots there of him coming into the, oh wow, look at the crowds. So many people come out to watch this race.
So 6 laps to go. They've ridden for 10 Ks as we watch those in that leading group go through.
It's quite a challenging part of the course because the entrance and exit to the the stadium is quite narrow, so really positioning yourself well. See, Wilde's done a big amount of work now, but to kind of cause that break and chase, but he's now kind of sat in the middle of that pack. 30 seconds, so they've lost 5 seconds, that group, on the front now, the front of 24. So we've got 2 significant packs.
Just trying to see, Helen, who Alex is riding with to see whether we can offer him some hope. He's got the likes of Sarat Sioani, Barclay Izzard, his fellow countryman.
Emil Holm, very strong cyclist.
Sarzilla also, and David Castro, a Messias.
Yeah, then there's a gap to behind, which is you've got Richard Murray, Jake Birtwistle in that group as well. So, they're 30 seconds behind that group. I think there's only 6 currently in the Yi group as well, 7 maybe in that group. So it's not a massive group. I think the good thing for Yi, he's got Barclay Izzard there. They're teammates. They've come up through the British development system together. They used to train together in Loughborough. Barclay's not based there now, but I think just having someone there in your corner that would probably do a lot of work for you is going to be helpful. And I think this is the most motivated we've seen a front pack for probably all season, because we know that they know Wild's not with them. They know Yee's even further behind. So we're really getting everyone driving. No one's kind of sitting there and waiting. It's like, this is it. You have to go for it now. The best opportunity they've had all year.
And even though Yee's got that Wild has got that time penalty, the fact that he's 30-odd seconds ahead of the Brit and maybe trying to close this gap on these leaders, it's going to be absolutely fascinating. And as you say, the motivation for Berger and Velassa to stay clear, it turns the whole title race on its head potentially.
It does, yeah. It turns it all in the race. They're motivated, but the whole group is going to be motivated. There's got to be that excitement, that buzz in the group, because you've just got that chance. You've got that shot. There's big money on the line too. It's just getting a top 10 here has a massive. It just could make your year. So it's just exciting to see these athletes at the front, like really pushing the pace and trying to drive. Got Kenji Naina there, who's at the front. We've just got Wild at the front there, pushing the pace on that second group. We can just see it. He's really pushed hard.
Well, this on screen now is as we stand right now. If the race stopped now, or the point where we took this timing, Koenigs would win the title, Berger would be second, Velassa would be third, and Wild and he wouldn't even be on the podium. Long way to go, but it just shows you, though, anything can happen.
Oh, absolutely anything. I mean, it's all over the place, isn't it? And we got that shot at the top, but it was Wild, like at the front of that group, and he'd really strung it out. A few athletes were struggling to stay in that pack, so he's really trying to use the hill to break it up and use that time to try and pull back a few seconds towards that front group.
We obviously used a little bit of license with that, because clearly Koenigs happens to be at the front of that 17 or 24-man bike group, but still, it shows you what is possible.
Yeah, when we get the next bike split, we'll see if they've managed to pull back any time. They were at 26 seconds, the second group, so we should get a bike split soon, and we'll know if Hayden Wild's group has managed to pull back any time. Van Riel now, he was in that second group, now in the front, so really getting to use that bike strength that we know he has.
Yeah, we've seen it so often from Martin Van Riel. And he's exactly the kind of guy that Velassa and Berger would want in that leading group.
And it's still 24 seconds at the last bike split. So haven't managed to pull back any time, but they are holding. Jelle Gaines is in that pack with Hayden Wild as well. And if Jelle Gaines gets near the front of the race, he's dangerous. We know he can get on the podium. In a few races this year, he's missed the swim and been a bit further back. But if he gets close to the front, he's always got a shot as well.
Blumenfeld obviously is in the Wild group, and Alex Yee is now 1 minute and 7 seconds back. And he's getting further away from the leaders and the Wild group. And that is very worrying from the Brit.
It's a really tough position to be in mentally, because he's riding round and he knows that he's losing time and he'll be doing everything possible. And I think it's just, I suppose it's not getting carried away with what's happened. It's staying in the moment and really focusing on trying to do what you can. But it's tough. It's a really tough position.
He's down in 49th, would you believe, as we stand, Alex Yee.
I was just checking where Morgan Pearson is as well, and he is in that front group, because just thinking back to last year where he produced that like devastating run split and got seconds in the final, not second overall in the rankings, and he's not going to have an impact on that World Championship, but has that ability to run away with a win here today if he's in the front pack, especially with Wild having a penalty, and how hard Wild is having to ride, because Christian Blumenfeld's not helping him. He's sat in the middle of this pack while Wild is sat on the front.
So many scenarios, and we're only on the third lap. There you see the confirmation. Wild 23 seconds back and more than a minute between the leaders and Alex Yee, the series leader. That is the Hayden Wild group just going through.
So So the Wild group coming into the track just as that lead group are going to exit. I mean, it doesn't look like much. It's 20 seconds or just over 20 seconds, but it's just massively significant when we get down to kind of their 10K times and what they can run. And here we go. Here's the Yi group. I think being with Serrat as well from Spain is a positive for them as well. He's a really strong rider.
So they come through to complete another lap.
And it's a few more seconds lost. I just think from this position, especially with those front two groups chasing hard, then it's incredibly difficult. If the front two groups come together, there may be more of a chance to get back into the race because you know the pace will slow at the front. It'll be a bit more about jostling for position, maybe a couple of attacks, but it won't be as full on. Attacks off the front. I think that's Batista from Portugal. He did this in Sunderland as well. He's an incredibly strong rider and really likes to use that strength he has. Former World Junior Champion. Looks like he's going to have a go at the hill, and this will as well keep the pace on. His attack off the front, a few athletes will chase him down or pull him back, or I don't think they'll let him go. But it will keep the group kind of honest and fast up the hill.
So the last timings we had, Hayden Wild 28 seconds behind the lead group in the chase pack, and Yi a further 45 seconds now behind that Wild group, and losing time by the lap.
Got Brandon Copeland from Australia's in there. He had a mechanical at the Paris test event. His bike pretty much broke in half, so it's good there was no injuries from that, and good to see him back up there. He's made the front group.
There's a little GB peloton forming with Yi, because he's got Matt Stapley in that group as well as Barkley is out now.
Has Stapley gone back? Was he in the second group? He may have gone backwards to maybe help him a bit. The group really slowing there as they go through those back markers. When they hit the top, they have to slow down so much more, and it's a big chase to get back on. And there's the second group going up the hill. You can see there just that dead turn, how strung out it's got, and those athletes behind really. So for the guys that are in contention, they want to stay near the front of this group to make sure that they're able to stay near the front. It's Martin van Riel there really pushing hard. And he has aspirations at long course. I think he's got the world record time for the 70.3 for the half Ironman. And that's what he's going to move to. He was down to do some of the PTO 100K distance races this year, but obviously had his crash. But he's had 2 fourth places at the Olympics, or a fifth and a fourth. Sorry, he really wants to do another Olympic cycle before he makes that move. So this is the last chance for him to go for the Olympics before he kind of makes that shift to the long distance racing. I think it's Lecour and Berger that are sat there behind him as well. I mean, this is Berger's ideal scenario, isn't it? He loves it. We always see him on the bike working hard, whatever the size of the pack, wherever he is, he's always there driving. So I think they'll be excited to be getting those kind of splits and just enjoying the moment, as painful as it probably is.
I just wonder what is going through Vasco Velas's mind right now. Maybe nothing, maybe just concentrating in being in that leading bike group. But just to repeat, if he wins this race and Yi is fourth or worse and Wild third or worse, and at the moment both those scenarios look more than probable, Velasquez will be world champion.
I mean, I don't think it's something he would have even dared to dream before this race, because I think just how dominant Wild and Yi have been. I think you look back at Cagliari, where they were 30 seconds ahead on the run. And again, Yi's about 30 seconds ahead in Paris. And after Paris, Vilas has said they're a long way ahead. I don't know what we're going to do to close down that gap. So I think coming into this race, that's probably a mindset. What have I got to do in the next year? But he's in the position today where he can capitalise on, him having a good swim.
Having started more than 200 points off the top of the rankings. There's Hayden Wilde in that chase group, trying to stay in touch. But remember, from Wilde's point of view, he's going to have a 15-second penalty to serve as well.
Yeah, and he's got Blumenfeld in there, but Blumenfeld we haven't really seen him, well, from the shots we've had, we haven't seen him at the front of this group. But, I mean, at the same time, why would he? This is Hayden Wilde's World Championships to lose, not his. So, let him do the work. But I would be keeping an eye on him in case he's going to have an attack or something. He'll just turn on the switch at some point and kind of start riding a bit harder.
The gap between leaders and chase group and the chase group and the Yi group going up, both
going up. That's gone up to the first time we've seen 30 seconds.
So that's a worry for Wilde. It's also a worry for Alex Yi.
Big effort. That was a big lap by Martin van Riel there. A lot of that 5 seconds has come from him. He really put in a big effort. Hasn't managed to lose anyone from this group, but he's put in time to the chasers behind. And this is the back. That was the back of the chase group then. McElroy's in there, Sanchez as well from Spain.
So this is the halfway point on the bike, and this world title is up for grabs. It has been since they came out the water, and you throw the Wilde penalty in.
There's Blumenfeld on the front.
First time we've seen it.
Yeah, and maybe that gap's gone out a bit much, and it feels like in so many of the races, and if you listen to him talk afterwards, when he talked about Paris, it was like, well, when the gap was at a certain point on the bike and I wanted to close it down, we got it down. I think he's very calculated in what the time difference is, when he's going to push. So yeah, it's always interesting to see. Maybe that gap's gone out a little bit too much and he's not happy with it.
Well, maybe at last Blumenfeld is going to do Wilde a favour and help make that group up some time on the leaders.
I mean, Blumenfeld, he is in that, he's one of those 8 men that could win the World Championship. It's not particularly likely, but he's still going to want to have a good race here today and have a good performance, but maybe not willing to do all of the work. Maybe he wants to save something for the run today.
Well, here's Alex Yi then coming round to complete his 4th lap of 8. But a long way back. It's approaching a minute and a half now. And however fast he runs, I don't think he's going to be able to run fast enough this time.
No, and I don't think we haven't seen him off the front yet. He's so committed to this, and I respect that in a way, because I think some people who aren't having the best race can maybe give up a little bit, but we're not seeing that from Yi. He's on the front. He's not going to let this slip away. He's going to keep pushing, because again, don't know what's going to happen, do you? Unlikely from this point at this moment, but he's not going to give it up. I think that also shows respect for the race and his competitors to keep staying out there and pushing hard.
And just going back to what you were saying about Christian Blumenfeld, Helen, I mean, now that he's basically said, I am concentrating on short course racing between now and Paris, and he's one of those guys that you can never, ever discount, because he's been doing everything.
Oh, and he's won everything. Olympic Games, World Championships, Ironman World Championships, 70.3 World Championships. He just ticked the PCO race, which had been the one that had been eluding him. So, I think, yeah, now it's time to focus on the Olympics. He's kind of got all those wins.
Yeah, he's probably got the Eurovision Song Contest lined up as well. It's the only thing he hasn't won. Looking at that gap over the first 4 laps, Blumenfeld and Wilde.
They got closer, didn't they? And then it's gone out again. Just that last lap, and there was some big Batista's attack, Van Riel's big push on the descent. It looks like that gap went out at just 6 seconds. But if you keep adding 6 seconds, then it gets big.
It gets costly. Well, it'd be interesting, won't it, to see what happens on this lap now that we saw Blumenfeld at the front of that chase group. So you would think maybe they'd have a chance of making up a few seconds on the leaders.
There's Faldem there from Hungary, Priesters in that Bensi Bisak as well. It's a strong group. Charles Paquet, who unfortunately missed the test event as well. He had to pull out last minute being sick. Unusual for Mark DeVay to be in that second group. Maybe just something went a little bit wrong on the swim there for him today. There's Odakura there from Japan. But I think when they come around that dead turn, and if you look down the road ahead of them, they can't see that group. It's not that close.
So at the end of 4 laps, if everyone stayed where they were, this is how it would finish. With Berger taking the title, would be a defence, a successful defence if that happened. Velasa would get the second place overall, and Koenigs would be third, but a long, long way to go.
I mean, and it just sees how much it can change, and I think that graphic becomes so relevant 1 lap into the run when they've kind of sorted themselves out a little bit.
Yeah, because there are 24 in this lead bike group, and it doesn't really matter at the moment if you're 3rd or you're 12th, because you're all riding around together. But yeah, once they get out on the run, we'll get a much clearer idea, especially if they're, at that point, as looks likely, about 2 minutes clear of Alex Yee, and maybe the best part of a minute clear of the Wild group. We'll see.
Yeah, we still had Martin van Riel on the front of that group then, doing another big turn. He's really had a massive impact on this race. He's back on the second group here. He's just, as we scan up the group, we see Berger, Blumenfeld and Wild near the front. Jelle Gaines is there as well. But Sanchez from Spain, which I guess kind of the top Spanish at the moment as well. He had a 10th in Paris. He's having a really good season so far. So I know that'll be important for the crowds who are here coming out to support the favourites, that he's up there with that in that top position.
Well, the Alex Yee group going further and further back. It looks a nigh on impossible task for them to gain any time on those in front of them, either chase group or lead group. You can see Yee and Izzard, his fellow Brit, riding together there. Yee asking for a bit of help.
Yeah, trying to get them all motivated, trying to get them working together, because Yee's done some massive turns. We've seen him on the front, he's been the one driving it, but he also knows, like we said earlier, about that he's got better at every race he does, he seems to learn from and improve. He knows he can't sit on the front for 40k and still run well. So he's got to get those others help. He's got to get them motivated to try and work with him.
So 5 laps completed, just 15k's to go on the bike in this incredible race so far. Ms. Lordchuk having an excellent race in that leading group. Johnny Brownlee's in there as well. Copeland of Australia, Torn of Norway. Some names that maybe you wouldn't expect in there, as well as some of those that you would.
Yeah, Torn had a great swim. He was right up there. He was the one that just got onto the back of that front group with Velasa.
It's 38 seconds now. It's going to be a minute. It will be a minute, I reckon, when they come off the bikes.
Wow. This is not how I saw the day going.
No.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Makes it interesting, makes it exciting.
And totally unpredictable.
Very unpredictable. I mean, I think when we were looking at all the permutations of what was going to happen, I was like, well, last year we expected Yee versus Wild. We didn't get it. We're going to get it this year, but we haven't. We haven't got that.
Miguel Hidalgo of Brazil has been disqualified. He crossed to the other side of the road, so he cut the bike course, and the Brazilian has been DQ'd.
Oh, that's a shame for he's only 23, Hidalgo. He's had a good year as well. He got 8th in Paris, an incredible run there. Best 10k he's ever run. Fastest of his life, he said. So he'll be extremely disappointed with that.
So Yee is a minute 40 off the lead and a minute behind Wild. Don't let anyone ever tell you this sport is predictable, or that it's just, you know, bike, swim and bike for show and run for dough, because it is not the case today at all.
And I mean, the courses massively help. And when we looked at this course, and you think, oh yeah, it's relatively flat, maybe, you know, probably we might see them. I think some of the courses this year we have seen like big groups in the men's race, and there just hasn't, that breakaway hasn't been able to go. But I mean, Matt Hauser's swim today, and his attacking that first lap, maybe this hill as well. The course has really like helped, I think, this breakaway happen. Got Vesterman up there from Switzerland. He's a strong rider. He likes to be active on the bike and really pushes the pace. Has got into a few breakaways. I think is that Berger? Yeah, he's the one pushing the pace up towards the front of that hill, just approaching the dead turn.
Done a great job here of staying away and increasing that lead, even in a big group. You can see the lap by lap for Alex Yee, losing time. 17 seconds he lost to the leaders on that last lap. I say his group.
Again, Wild on the front. I mean, whatever you say about Hayden Wild, he's going for this race, isn't he? He's the one, he's pushed the pace so hard on this from this chase group. He's done a lot of the work. He's managed to, he's just not letting this slip away. He's not leaving it to anyone else. He's doing it himself to try and claw his way back to that front group. Bit of a shout there. He's trying to get some of these athletes motivated. I mean, you've got Brock Hole from Canada there at the back. He's a young athlete. He's probably not able to contribute too much to this effort, probably on his limit to stay in the group.
This is the Alex Yee group, second chase group. Yee again at the front of it.
Just see the timing board there. That's the British athlete. That's the British, one of the British coaches there with that big board giving them splits. So Barkley is out there trying to communicate with them as he went past.
Gaspar Riveros of Chile has picked up a littering penalty. There's only certain parts of the course where you can throw bottles or other paraphernalia. So they come to the 180 on their 6th lap of 8. No one could have forecast how this was going to go, surely.
I mean, and we were talking at the start of the race how Yee and Wild, their swim has improved so much this year, but I think the fact we saw the two of them together diving in for that second lap, and they were side by side, slightly off from the group. I mean, maybe that was the warning sign that they weren't on the back of that group. They were kind of right next to each other, maybe almost slowing each other down a little bit.
I was going to say, maybe they were concentrating too much on keeping an eye on each other rather than kind of more just racing their normal own race.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not specifically finding each other and concentrating, but when you're next to someone in the swim and you're swimming side by side, you tend to slow each other down, whereas if you're in a pace line, one of you's behind, one of you's in front, or even kind of on the hip, although that does slow things down a little bit as well, it's a lot more efficient. But maybe they just kind of got stuck and kind of swimming together and couldn't really get out of it.
So over the bridge, round the roundabout, and you can see spectators massing on just about every conceivable part of this course. It's only got a population of around 80,000, Pontevedra, but it looks like probably 3/4 of the town have come out to watch this race.
I think everyone's come out to race. Everyone's come out to watch the race, and obviously the big number of triathletes in town as well. I mean, the Parade of Nations for the age group athletes was absolutely incredible the other day. Amazing atmosphere, and I think that just carries through then. The age group athletes want to come out and watch and support. There's massive British teams here, massive US teams have come to compete. But Emil Holm there. And that is the Blumenfeld group, Blumenfeld and Wild. Blumenfeld now on the front. Luke William there just taking a turn. Jelle Gaines, I mean, he's right there at the front. We haven't seen him at the front too much, but it looks like he's trying to be a little bit tactical there. He knows he's got that strong run. Seth Ryder, another strong cyclist in that group, but still not able to pull back much time on the leaders.
You're looking at those leaders, and you think, obviously, Berger and Velasa, the two with the best chance of a title. Morgan Pearson, though, the form he's in, you certainly wouldn't discount him in terms of this race as a potential winner. So 2 laps to go only now as we approach the hour mark.
And that's 40 seconds now, so gone out another couple of seconds. Yes, if you're looking at the front group, I mean, we've obviously got the World Championship and who's up for that, but in terms of who can do well in the race, you've obviously got Morgan Pearson, who's up there, and obviously in good shape, Tyler Michalchuk as well. We know that on his day, he can produce that great run, and we don't always see it because he's quite unlucky, but we know there's a few athletes with potential to have a good run as well. Lasse Lurs is in there as well, Helvig.
Might see a blast from the past from Johnny Brownlee.
Yeah, Johnny Brownlee's in there as well, yeah. And Brownlee's been in great shape in the last 2 Super League races. I mean, up there, shoulder to shoulder with Leo Berger. So we know he's got that form. It hasn't gone anywhere. It just hasn't come out in these World Series races for a while.
So Yi has lost another 10 seconds on that lap. It's going to be well over 2 minutes back when they get off the bikes. And even for someone who can run 28:30, you can't give the likes of Berger, Velasa, Pearson, whole host of others 2 minutes, surely not.
No, I don't think you can, especially how much he's had to output as well on the bike. He's been riding really hard. Same for Wild, has been riding hard, and Wild has lost time, and he's got a 15-second penalty.
Yeah.
So you think of that group, that second group, Wild, Blumenfeld, probably the stronger runners in there. But you've got Jelle Gaines is also in there as well, but you've got to give up 15 seconds, and it's always slightly more than 15 by the time you slow down and lost that rhythm. It's
deceleration and acceleration again.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's going to be the longest 15 seconds of his life. He had that penalty I mentioned in the Commonwealth Games. That was only 10 seconds. It was enough to cost him any chance of gold.
A controversial penalty as well, that one, wasn't it?
It was. I don't imagine today's is quite as controversial.
No.
Interesting to see what he has to say about it afterwards. But the leaders are on their penultimate lap, which means just around 8 kilometres to go until they get off for the 10K run.
Helvig in there, Lecour. I mean, there's so many men in this front group that could win this race as well. I mean, Lecour has a shot, doesn't he?
For sure. We saw in Sunderland, albeit that was only a sprint race, but we saw how quick he is.
And he got 4th in Paris.
Yep.
I mean, it was Koenig's Lecour Berger that, wasn't it, 4th, 5th, 6th. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, sorry. And Velasa was 2nd there. So that's our last kind of form, isn't it, from Paris. So, I mean, there's been a couple of French Grand Prix in between as well. We've had a lot of the athletes competing at those. Van Riel doing what Van Riel does, and I do love the way he races. He's always up there. He likes to keep it interesting and push the pace. And I don't think he's been able to get back to that run form he's had pre-injury, where he was coming kind of 4th at the Olympic Games. But he's still got that year to go. That's year to improve on the form.
Just reaching for my slide rule calculator abacus when they come off and start on the run. So many calculations as to who needs to come where to win this title. Oh,
it is so tough. And we said that I wonder what they're thinking. I mean, I don't think they can think about it, because it's just, I think you can be, oh, great, we're putting in time to Wild, we're putting in time to Yi, that's good. But I don't think you can actually think about it. You just have to go and run the best race you can run. Because I think if you have all those things coming into you, it can slow you down. Like the too much thinking is not good at that point. I think you might have that little bit of kind of glimpse of, this gives me a better chance, but then you'd almost push that out and focus on your what you've got to do, and you've got to execute that fast 10K, as we can see the 10K times.
Well, these are some select times of some of these athletes, and you can see if you take Ian Wyand out, Berger is the quickest just from Velasa, but there's so little in it, and Pearson only a few seconds behind. So it would be a brave man who would predict what's going to happen.
They have come through the bike split again, so I think that gap is come down a little bit. The last bike split has gone down to 36 seconds, so
they made up 4. That was because Blumenfeld went on the front.
Probably, yeah. And also the front group as well. They've got a good gap, but I think they'll be, if they've had a time split, that'll be the warning that they can't let up. You're just not able to let up. But there is some men in this group that won't have done as much work, that have been sat there in the middle of the group. Just had a little glimpse of Tom Richard there, and we haven't really seen him too much at the front. So, I mean, he's probably working pretty hard just to stay in the group, but those are the athletes that we could see come through and have a really good run as well. Skuman's kept himself in a great position as well.
Well, he's another who can run well,
obviously.
Yeah.
He's had his wife and his young daughter on training camp with him and at the races for the last couple of months, and he said it's made such a difference, just having that home environment away with him, and he feels like it's really helped him kind of come and perform well at the races he's done.
So the leaders have taken the bell, just 5K for them to go, and they know they're well ahead of Wild, who we see there at the front of that chase group, as he has been for so much of this bike course. And Alex Yee going to be around 2 minutes back when we see him go through transition.
And like Morgan Pearson, Johnny Brownlee, they're in the front group. We haven't seen loads of action of them on the front, and we know how strong they can both ride. But Pearson, with that recently, that's a tough thing to do. Break away on your own in Olympic distance, then go on to run for the win. So we know he's got that recent form. He's got to be in there fighting for the win today.
And in Karlovy Vary, when he was riding in that league group of 10 or 12, by every stat, he was the fastest runner, but he still made a solo break and won the race by more than a minute. So we know the American is in form. He was good in Paris, and he's right where he wants to be with less than 4 kilometres now to go on the bike. Definitely the American in with the chance of the race. Not of the title. That is another question altogether. Well, there's the man who came in as one of the 2 joint favourites, you'd probably say, to win the championship. Hasn't gone his way at all. It started with a slip. He kicked his swim cap on the pontoon.
Oh, so that's
that was the penalty. That was the penalty.
Oh, no. So it's not even equipment outside the box.
What a bizarre incident. What a bizarre moment.
And if he'd come out the swim a little bit closer, he may have stopped and just picked it up. I mean, what happens if it falls into the water, though? I mean, that's impossible to get back then. I mean, but the fact it was there on the pontoon.
I think because it was a slip hazard, I think if it had gone into the water, maybe that would have been okay. I don't know. Never seen that happen before.
I haven't seen that before. I mean, obviously his equipment's not in his box. And I've seen hats come off in the swim, but you don't get a penalty for hats off in the swim. But I guess it's not in way of anyone else. But, oh, what a bizarre penalty. Oh, and this is so unfortunate. And that's a little bit of a split second of I'm not sure what to do. He didn't know whether to pick it up and go, did he? And he'll be massively kicking himself for that one. But then he might not have made the group either, and he'd be even further behind. So maybe it was the right choice to leave the hat there. What a crazy penalty.
To get our rules aficionados on the case to find out what would have happened had that swim cap gone in the water, because then it wouldn't have been a hazard to anybody. But
I think it was the fact that he should have picked it up.
Right.
I think that's what it must have been. But
yeah, but what I'm saying is if it had come off and gone straight into the water.
Yeah, I don't think there could have been a because you can't. in the under-23s earlier today, Jamie Riddle's hat came off in the water, but no penalty.
We're getting information. Had it gone into the water, it wouldn't have been a penalty. So the vagaries of this sport.
And see Wild there, he's just so frustrated. He's kind of waving at that group to try and get them working. He knows he's losing time, and I'm sure he knows about the penalty now, but he'll know exactly what that's for. And I guess he'll know that he didn't pick up that swim hat when he should have done. Should have kicked it into the water.
Well, actually, that would have been a penalty if it was intentional.
Intentional,
yes.
Of course, yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, I kind of feel bad for him. I mean, I know that that's what the rules are, but he had that penalty at the Commonwealth Games, which again was a bit controversial with the hand on the helmet. And I mean, but there's technical officials, there's rules, and if you don't stick to the rules, there's no point in racing. It's just, you may as well just do what you want. You're giving favoritism to certain athletes, so they have to stick to the rules, but that's really unfortunate for him.
And that is why they have the rule about equipment, outside the box is a penalty, because if a wetsuit, gets in the way of somebody else, that's clearly a hazard. And that was what happened with the swim cap. It's so unfortunate. It's just a total freak occurrence.
And you can see Hayden Wells frustrated because we saw him gesture at the rest of his group as they were coming through. There's that passion coming through of like, and it comes out when you're racing. But they are currently, I think, it was about 40 seconds at that last lap. So we're going to get the bike split too. The front group have come through that bike split, so they've not got far to go now before the run.
41 seconds back, the Hayden Wild group, and you add the 15-second penalty to that, and it's near enough a minute.
You've also got to run with the knowledge of the penalty and the frustration of not being where you want to be, so keeping I suppose, a cool head to execute the plan, because this is a tricky run in the fact that it's twisty, there's hills, it's turny, there's changes of surface. It's a really interesting run to pace, and I think you need to be switched on and not kind of go out too hard. And if you had a plan leading into this, and then all of this stuff's happened, a penalty, not being where you want in the swim, all these different things, it may actually affect how you execute that 10K run.
Yeah, he's just got to put his best foot forward. He can't affect what anyone does in that lead group.
I mean, and there was a World Cup here last year, and I think it was the women's race. The lead woman was out front by quite a long way and just hadn't paced that run right and got ran down in the last kilometre. So the pacing incredibly important on this run.
And in the Alex Yee group, it's not that the likes of Izzard and Stapley haven't wanted to help him. I just don't think they've been able to. No,
well, the pressure's been on for the whole ride. That Wild group's not letting up, the front group's not letting up, so they haven't been able to get back in. Whereas I think if the groups had merged, he would have had more chance to reduce that deficit. But they're riding against the best riders in the sport, who are all riding full on for 40 kilometres. Pearson at the back of that group. He quite often is at the back, but we do see him run through really well. Villas are at the front.
Yeah, off the bikes they come. Group of 24 men with Villasa right there. And at the moment, you'd probably say he was the favourite to take the title. Berger is there also.
Villasa, I'd say it's the favourite, yeah, but he's got to deal with that pressure now of being the favourite in the group, if he acknowledges it.
Yeah.
We don't see him front running that often. He's kind of the one following and always comes through with that amazing sprint finish. Can't discount Matt Hauser either. He's got the potential to win this race.
And so is Morgan Pearson.
Lassie Lurt is in there as well, a really strong runner. There's Pearson just towards the back of that pack.
And here come the chasers, including Hayden Wild on the left there. 45 seconds back.
Good transition there by Priester, right at the front of that group. Blumenfeld's there too. Wild's got to run through a lot of athletes. He's got to get a gains rack in his bike. There's a lot of fast runners in this group. That could help Wild though. Good transition.
Well, he's away, but he's going to need the run of his life here from 45 seconds back, plus the 15-second time penalty.
I mean, when would you take it? It's just, we see most athletes take it over on the last lap, don't we? And then, but he may want to take it at the front and just work his way through the field.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's almost worse if he got to within shouting distance of the lead and then had to take the penalty on the last lap and watch them go away from him. But we'll see.
And this is not where Alex Yee thought he'd be coming into this race, is it?
Not where any of us thought he'd be.
No, I mean, he's done incredibly well to keep the pressure on and keep riding with the group he has. We know he's worked hard, but he's lost a lot of time.
Well, Alex Yee is not the kind of individual to ever give up, but inwardly, he must be so deflated with what's happened over the last hour and a quarter.
Yeah, I don't think it's reasonable for him to stay positive when he's losing that amount of time, but I guess it's at this point it's almost shaking it off and almost blocking everything out and just having the best run you can, because he doesn't know what's going to happen in front of him.
No.
And if he can pull back as many positions as possible, it affects where he finishes in the world standings.
That looked pretty good. So, Alex Yee, perceived as the best runner in the sport, is away, but surely with a task that even for him is too much. Hauser at the front as they make their way through the first lap of 4 on the bike.
Interesting scenario here, because the men are so used to having a Yee or a Wild to take it out fast and be the kind of the instigator, really push that initial pace. We saw it in Montreal where there was a much larger group towards the front than normal, and it was Hauser that attacked and managed to break it up. So it's a bit different for them. Again, it's Hauser taking them out, but they haven't got that athlete that's normally driving it. We've had a Yee or a Wild at nearly every event.
Just to confirm, Alex Yee 2 minutes and 18 seconds back in T2. That's back of the lead. Well, imagine if you're Vilassa, woke up this morning and you thought, well, if I can just have a good race, maybe I can get on the overall podium. Started in 3rd, remember. Now, it's all on the line. Hauser is there with Helvig, Lehman on the right, on the left rather, Pearson on the right. Has made up a lot of ground.
Yeah, he's made up a few spots there. He did go into transition. That's what we saw in the series final last year, though, that he just came through stronger and stronger every lap. Maybe his running background, but yeah, he does seem to pace the 10K really well. And see what you mean here, they're just on a downhill, they've had a little very twisty turny. And certain athletes this is not going to suit. Maybe the athletes that come from a track background where they're really happy kind of running on a flat surface. It's a challenging run. But Song Lehman up there, he's been a world junior champion, he's been a world under 23 champion. He's had 3 top 10s so far this year, so his best year on the World Championship circuit to date. Don't know if he expected to be at the front leading the race at this point, but I'm sure he's going to take it.
Just looking down, Hel, just doing some rough mathematics. If Berger wins this race, then I think Vilassa can afford to come 4th and still take the title. Not sure he'll be thinking that way, but that's what it looks like to me at the moment. But we're only on the first lap of 4.
I mean, we don't always see this dynamic happening because normally we're focused on Yee and Wild, who have already run away at this point. So we don't always see the dynamic, I guess, which would normally be the second group. So it's kind of fascinating to see who's at the front, who's pushing the pace. Just saw Berger there as well.
Well, if they finished as they are now, Vilassa would be world champion, Hauser would be 2nd overall, and Hayden Wild would be 3rd. But of course, Wild has that 15-second penalty, so that's not, I wouldn't take too much store by that. Lehman running a great race out in front, with Pearson looking ominously good. Hauser in behind, Schomburg running well, just on the right-hand side behind Matt Hauser, and then Vilassa just behind him with Berger on the Portuguese's shoulder.
Yeah, Koenigs is in there as well. Lacour, you can just see Helvig, they're all up there. No one's really, none of the big players have lost any ground yet. Just in the distance, you can see Wild coming through.
Yeah, he may have made up some time.
He's definitely made up some time.
Yeah.
That's Martin van Riel in the middle, but we do know, again, he's had his issues this year, but Wild is on the charge.
Big question is, when would you take this penalty?
Oh, don't ask me that. I don't know. I think just run. He's in a good flow. He's in a good rhythm. He's pulling back time, so just keep it going for as long as possible.
Maybe he's going to leave it another lap, then we'll see.
Or he might think, I'm going to take it now and chase it down. I mean, if his coach is on course, if his coach gives him the information, Craig Kirkwood, he might go with that. He might kind of leave it to someone else to decide for him. Blumenfeld lost a bit of ground there. Priest is right up there with Wild, so he's running a fast 10K so far.
Lacour and Velassa separated by just a couple of centimetres, running right together.
And now we're waiting for Wild to come around the corner. It's just Van Riel. It would have been him next. But this first lap's gone quickly. It's gone really fast.
The whole race has gone quickly, hasn't it? It doesn't feel like, what are we, an hour and 20 odd minutes in? So first lap down, 3 to go. We still don't know.
We still don't. With the big thing's going to be the time split now to Wild. How much has he managed to pull back? Oh, he's taking the first lap. Okay, so that's the decision. And now it's just chasing back. Oh, no, he went too early.
Oh,
15,
no.
He thought it was 10.
Yeah, 10 in a sprint race, 15.
Oh, and
there we go. And here's why.
It slipped.
He drops the helmet, then he kicks it accidentally. And had that gone in there, into the water, we reckon he'd have been fine. It didn't, he wasn't. And now he's cost himself more time with the actual taking of the penalty.
But there, right, penalty's done, and it's 48 seconds. So I think that's the interesting stat there. So, but I think it's quite good. It's out the way. And maybe he can just forward focus now. It's just every spot is his now. Whereas otherwise you've got the penalty kind of hanging over you.
Yeah,
unusual to see it taken first. Just Wild come to quickly past McIlroy, and now he's just going to focus on trying to pull back every position he can.
Well, just to put a bit of meat on the bones here, if Velassa was to win this race, Wild would have to be second. Otherwise, Velassa would take the title. A lot of ifs and buts in that sentence. Alex Yee has made up a bit of ground, but it's still surely impossible. 2:20 back, the Olympic test event winner. That was after T2.
And Barkley is out there, who's running incredibly well, but even he's not going to be able to stay with Yee when Yee's running the best he can. And he's putting everything out there. There's no pacing for him. There's no tactics. It's just run the fastest 10K you can. Every position is going to count.
Yeah, effectively it's the seasonal swan song, isn't it? So Yee comes through to complete his opening lap.
And what's the gap going to be to Yee? So you said it was about, was it 2:20?
2:18 it was.
2:18.
Yeah. He may have made up 10 seconds.
2:10.
Yeah, so 8 seconds, yeah.
But, I mean, that's on they're running hard at the front, obviously, too.
Yeah. It's a thankless task, but it's just in Alex Yee's personality. He is going to go as quick as he can, and Morgan Pearson is on the break. The American who finished second in the grand final last year out of nowhere. We saw him win in Karlovy Vary a couple of weeks back. He's fit, and he's made a move early.
Yeah, he just hasn't clicked for him all year. He's had a number of issues in this race and then didn't have enough points to get into Paris. That last minute into Paris got in the selection, and that's kind of turned the tables for him. And he's really kind of executing what we've probably known is there all year, but he just hasn't been able to get it out.
And that actually, potentially, may be a bit of help for Berger. Because if Pearson does win this race, then the gap in points decreases.
Yes, that's true. I'm going to leave you think about that. But it's Berger and Velasa, that's it. When we see that attack, it's broken up that pack straight away, and Berger and Velasa are the ones that have moved to the front. When it's that large pack, you don't really know who is feeling the strongest, but when someone goes on the attack, that's when we see it, and it's Berger who's feeling strong.
Berger has moved into second place and is trying to chase down Morgan Pearson. They're the defending world champion with a shot now at defending that title, as we see Wild continuing, we think, to make up ground.
Yeah, well, he's passed back. He'd almost got to Van Riel, and he's passed him now, but there's a big gap to the athletes in front. There's Yi just passing Hojo, so again, he's picking off positions. He's got Surratt there with him as well. Surratt's trying to help him. Look, he's saying, come with me, come on. And I think that's an amazing thing to do. He's trying to help Alex Yi, get him closer to the front.
If Berger finishes second, he would need Velasa to be 6th or worse to retain his world title. 5th or better, Velasa would still be world champion.
Okay. Pearson doesn't have to worry about any of this, though.
No.
He just needs to run as hard as he can.
He just wants to win the grand final.
He just wants, yeah.
But Berger making a really stout defence of his title, and Wild has not given up.
Amazing, he's back to Yella Gaines, he's back to Priester. These are the athletes he was running with before the penalty, so he's caught up 15 seconds to them
in
already.
less than a lap. Well under a lap, actually.
Yeah, well under a lap.
So the Maltese Falcon is absolutely flying, about to potentially go past Gaines. Meanwhile, Pearson at the front has that 10-15 metre lead at least over Berger. Can't see exactly where Velasa is.
And this is a fantastic atmosphere here. There's so many people lining the streets. These athletes are getting enormous cheers. It's a brilliant, brilliant venue for this event. But he's got a good gap. When you see from the overhead shot, it looks big.
Well, it's going to be, if he stays at the front, Helen, it's going to be a massive shot in the arm for US Triathlon, because it hasn't been the best of years for them on the men's side. Injuries, illness, but it looks like it's going to end on a high.
I mean, that's nearly a 10-second gap, I think, already. Lecour's up there as well, Konix.
Velasa, I think he's in about 5th. He's right on the cusp of it, in about 5th or 6th at the moment.
Yeah, he looks so... He's slipped back a few positions. Lasse Leurs now is in front of him as well. I think Tim Helvig's there. Matt Hauser's suffering a little bit, dropped off that pace.
And just a kind of a blurry shot right at the top of the screen is Hayden Wild. Yeah, he's definitely gaining ground. How do you call this from here? Berger is maybe going to need some help from the likes of Konix and Lecour to put some distance, and Velasa is now separated from that main group. So another twist, and that is great news for Berger, because the defending champion potentially can retain his title here.
I didn't expect that from Velasa. He's been so solid all year, hasn't he? He's had so many seconds, he's had thirds, but that gap there, I mean, that's an awful position. He's watching that gap go. It's getting bigger. Michalachuk's just gone past him.
If Berger finishes second, then Wild would need to be 6th or better to be world champion for the first time. And a very unlikely world champion, bearing in mind the way this race has gone.
And it's Helvig who's taking on that charge now, but Velasa's losing more and more ground. Michalachuk's gone past him. Looks like Skuman's going to go past him.
Pearson completes his second lap. The American going further away from the field here.
It feels like I don't know what's happened to Velasa though. The consistency we've seen all year. I think the worst position he's been is 8th. And he's in 10th now, and it looks like he's going backwards. So
yeah, other than that,
it's a big shock to see that.
Other than that crash in Montreal, he's
just
of course,
yeah, that was a
one-off thing. Yeah. Tyler Mislorchuk.
Yeah, so he's kind of gone past Velasa. Velasa looks like he's in a bad patch. So if he can kind of recover, get through this bad patch, use kind of, if he's good on the uphills, the downhills, kind of try and use those to get back into that rhythm. You need a bit of a reset at this point, but sometimes you're on your limit and you know there's nothing else there.
Well, we're 5,000 metres, less than that from the finish, and we still don't know who's going to be world champion. Johnny Brownlee is next in the firing line as far as Hayden Wild's concerned.
Well, Wild is now 51 seconds down. He's in 21st position when they came through. So he had a lot of momentum coming out of that box, out of that penalty box, but he's really got to try and keep that going.
So
Prost, Brownlee, Schomburg is next, but it's a bigger gap. He's got a longer way to go to get to Schomburg. Then he's going to be picking off a lot of people.
what's the gap, time-wise, Helen, between Wild and 5th? Because that kind of becomes a telling statistic right now.
Koenigs is at 7 seconds, and Wild is at 51.
So about 3/4 of a minute there or thereabouts. He's got to do that in over 5,000 metres, roughly. Alex Yee obviously going past runners, but just started from too far back, the Brit. He's been so consistent all season. He hasn't been off the podium in any of his races. He's going to be off the podium today in the biggest race of them all, or this year at least, ahead of Paris next year.
And he looks like he's struggling as well, doesn't he? He's not the Alex Yee we've seen. Obviously it's going to affect you, isn't it? He's ridden really hard. He's mentally as well, I think, to be in the position where you thought you were going to win, well, hopefully going to win. And Yee is now 2 minutes 25 down. Oh, look.
Here's the as it stands, and Berger will be the world champion again if the positions remain as they are. Villaça would be 2nd overall, Koenigs would be 3rd, and Wild would just miss out. But look how close it is. Actually, Villaça and Koenigs would have the same points. I think there is actually some decimal percentages which get taken into account. I actually have to search through my stats to find those.
But look, it's Pierre Lecour who's pulling back these athletes now. They're not letting Pearson get away. Pearson's opened that gap, but it's stayed the same. It hasn't grown, and it's Pierre Lecour who's the athlete that's really pushing the pace to try and get those other athletes back towards Pearson. They're not letting him get away. I say it was almost 10 seconds. I'd say it's come down now.
I can just imagine, Helen, like triathlon fans who turned on this afternoon thinking, yeah, I might get to watch Alex Yee have a run against Hayden Wild for the world title. And, of course, not the rest of it. And look at this. Pearson has now come back to the field.
And Helvig's up there as well. Koenigs. It's Hidalgo that's going backwards, but Hidalgo's disqualified. I don't know if he maybe...
Well, it's pending. He
has to keep going, yeah.
So he can appeal, obviously.
Yeah, he can appeal.
But the likelihood is, we know that not that many appeals succeed.
Songa Lehmann, so Lecour back to Pearson. Incredible running. And this is Lecour, age 33, won his first World Champ Series. I mean, absolutely incredible. He is an Olympian. He missed out on Tokyo, but he's got to be up there now. He's got to, and this would only support his chances of going. And he's dropped them.
This is the subplot, isn't it? He only won his first World Series race in Sunderland about a month and a bit ago. And Lecour now, as we start well into the 3rd lap, has kicked on ahead of Morgan Pearson.
And that was the split, 3 seconds. But Helvig's still there, Koenigs is there, Lasso Lurs. So we've got about 6 athletes who are up there. And Villaça is 26 seconds down in 12th position.
So he is fading. Wild is trying again after having to take that penalty. And in fact, it lasted a bit longer than it might have done because he went early thinking it was only 10 seconds. So nothing much has gone right in a tactical sense today for the New Zealander. But he is still battling on, and we'll get the timings when they come round to complete this 3rd lap. So if there's any way,
I think
he might be able to pull off a miracle here.
He's still at about 46 seconds.
Right.
So he's closing down. He's in 19th, so he's pulling back positions. I mean, see this big group in front. That's going to be massive. If he can get past those kind of 5 or 6, he's clawing his way further and further back up the rankings. The time doesn't matter at that point.
No, but
it's the position.
Yeah, he's got to make up about 14 places by my reckoning to be the world champ.
That's a big ask.
Yeah, over probably 3,000 metres now.
Lecour, Koenigs, Berger.
The French are taking over here.
Pearson's gone. Pearson's been dropped now.
Yeah,
this position changing every time, every lap, every split.
It's French dominance here now, with Lasso Lurs has now moved into 4th place ahead of Helvig. So 3 Frenchmen and 2 Germans have kicked away from the rest. And Wild continues. He's going to go past 3 men here. So he's taking Pizzatti, McCulloch, and Kinji Naina.
Oh, I mean, the 3 of them who finished 3rd, 4th and 5th in Paris, all up there again, going to be going for that sprint. We can see in the background, there's Hayden Wild. He's already gone past a few athletes. Villasa's going backwards.
I reckon there's 8 there he could conceivably get past. At least 8.
I mean, but if he passes Villasa, that's a big one as well, isn't it? But with Berger being at the front,
exactly. Yeah. Berger is the problem. Yeah, so currently I reckon he could just about get himself into the top 10 maybe, but that's not going to be enough. Just let me double check here. Yeah, Wild would need to be 6th if Berger wins, but that's if he wins. So there's all kinds of other because Lacour obviously might win, Koenigs might win, and so might the 2 Germans who are right there.
I noticed Koenigs as well. He runs with a watch in his hand. So the whole way, he's got a watch in his hand. He did it for Paris as well. So he really uses that to get his timing kind of on point. Really unusual thing to do, but obviously works for him.
I thought last season was the most exciting grand final and the most dramatic I've ever seen. This might beat it. They're going to take the bell, and we still don't know.
And just like we've got Helvig and Lasse-Lurs up there. Lasse-Lurs, if he gets a top 8 and is inside the top 30 in the Olympic rankings, this could get his selection. I'm not sure where his ranking position is. So lots of different things going on for those Germans too, especially for Lurs. I mean, he's got great potential. He's already had a couple of podiums. He had a podium in Leeds last year, but he's had a bad season. He had a bad ankle at the start and is come into form at the perfect time. But Wild's gone past Villasa now. 3 more spots.
So Villasa
13th.
So Villasa is not a threat anymore by the looks of it to Hayden Wild. I can't see the Portuguese coming back, but there are others that are.
I mean, he's still at that 44 seconds down, but he's catching the people who are going backwards. So he could get Pearson's 20 seconds in front of him, and Pearson's in 10th. So to get inside that top 10, I mean, 20 seconds on a 2.5K is a big ask.
Unbelievable running from Hayden Wild. He's still giving himself an outside shot. It's going to take something ridiculous from him on this last lap, but you wouldn't say it's impossible. Just astonishing permutations here. Alex Yee continuing to battle on and getting you have to say a sympathetic and encouraging hand from a very big crowd in Pontevedra. Serrazzioni obviously also getting the plaudits of the locals here.
There's Yee just coming around. So again, he's pulling back a few positions, but hasn't run his way inside that top 30 yet.
Yee just going past Serrazzioni.
Those 2 seem to be working together a little bit. Serrat is kind of, I think, trying to help him a little bit, just keep him going, keep him on track, which is, I'm sure Yee will be massively grateful for. I think any athlete can relate to this. When you come into a race kind of trying to go for World Championships and you have a bad day, it doesn't go right, the support of the other athletes on the course, they know how that is going to feel. And see Serrat there trying to give him the encouragement and keep him going to the finish.
The other thing is, from Leo Berger's point of view, he'll have had information that Hayden Wild is gaining ground, but he won't obviously know exactly where he is because even his coaches won't be able to keep up. He's taking athletes almost by the minute.
And now it's Helvig who's going off the front. I mean, that's amazing. And Koenigs is in second. He's got a shot at the title as well. Where's Berger? Berger's in 3rd. But Tim Helvig now, I mean, he said he'd had a great camp, and he said he'd come in here feeling really good, but it seems like he's just built on that 6th place in Paris and is just got so much confidence coming into this race.
Shot winner in Hamburg 2 years ago, Tim Helvig, but this would be by far the biggest win of his career so far.
And I guess that was showing us his potential back then with
Yeah.
that shock win. It wasn't the strongest field, but he did get that win. But this year, we've just seen him get better and better. That 4th place in Montreal is his best so far.
Berger still tidy enough in 3rd.
But Hidalgo as well, who obviously disqualification pending, who is trying to run his way back towards this front group. But Koenigs now, knowing that world title is not too far away.
Yeah, there's not much between Koenigs and Berger.
So if Koenigs wins, does he become world champion, or is that still Berger?
Koenigs will be world champion, even if Berger's 2nd.
So Koenigs, I mean, I don't know if Koenigs is going to know that. And I guess for all of these men running, they are not thinking about the scores, the points. They just need to win this race. I think it's just win the race, and then the rest sorts itself out. You can't be thinking about it at this point. My head's gone.
My respect for statisticians just went up about 100%. I don't know how they do it all day, every day. I'm struggling to do it in 10 minutes here.
We actually know that Tim Helvig has an amazing sprint, which he showed back in when he won that race in Hamburg. We know Koenigs has an amazing sprint. So does Licor. He won Sunderland in the sprint. Berger is the one I'd say we don't know as much. I think Berger is the one who's going to have to go and try and go early, if he's going to go early, but he's running out of time.
Koenigs 2nd and Berger 3rd would still see Koenigs as champion.
Helvig comfortably in front, though. He's the one sat there. He's the one setting this pace.
If Koenigs wins, then Weil would have to get into 6th place to be world champion.
I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He's in 10th. He's currently in 10th. He's passed Pearson. Pearson's gone backwards. I can't see Pearson on there. Miślechuk's next, so Wild is in 10th. But, I mean, to get to 6th, I mean, that's a long way. I mean, Miguel Hidalgo's in 6th, potentially DQ'd, but that's another matter.
Yeah, well, and obviously that doesn't affect, as far as the world title,
well,
for him,
it'd affect the positioning.
Others, exactly.
It'd affect the positioning,
affects the others, yeah. I think it's too big. I just think it's too big an ask for Wild to get into 6th. Helvig still leads. Licor and Koenigs just in front of Leo Berger.
I mean, at this point, they have to be thinking the position they enter the stadium and which line is best. Because at this, you know it's going to come down to a sprint, and who has that best line could be what gets you the World Championship.
Well, this is going to be absolutely sensational. Helvig is kind of the party pooper amid the 3 French title challenges here. Helvig not relevant to the title personally, but it may still have an impact.
And I think Helvig's pushing the pace. Helvig's gone, because you see Berger's at the back, he's straining. Helvig's trying to take it out early on. Licor and Koenigs, they've got that sprint. They've just got to try and hang there to the end.
So they come into the stadium, and it's Helvig with Koenigs and Berger. And they've just dropped, Licor with Berger just a little bit further back. I think he's booked for 4th. Can Koenigs or Licor get past the German? It could be massive. It could be Licor and Koenigs effectively fighting for the world title right here with the 2 Frenchmen. Helvig still trying to win the race, but Koenigs looks the stronger. Licor is trying to come, but Dorian Koenigs is going to get there. He beats Helvig. Licor was only 3rd. And I reckon that makes Koenigs the champ. We'll have to do the maths. And we'll have to see where Hayden Wild finishes. Wow.
What a finish. Unbelievable. So Koenig's kind of snatching it at the last minute. Lascelles 5th. Hidalgo 6th, potentially, with a DQ. So that could move Wild up a spot.
Yes, it could.
We're looking for who's behind Miślechuk. This Matt Hauser coming in 8th. I think that gets Matt Hauser his Olympic qualification.
I think it does.
Amazing there for Matt Hauser. And potentially the instigator of this exciting race. Miślechuk 9th. I think it's going to be Wild in 10th. And if that, yeah, I think it's Wild 10th. If Wilder, so potentially 9th if Hidalgo's disqualification starts, but look at his face. He's just gutted.
I am pretty sure, Helen, that Dorian Koenigs is a new world champion.
There's Batista. I mean, where's Velasa as well? There's Velasa.
Wild finishes 10th in the end.
And Velasa as well. Just how disappointing for him after the season he's put in, for it to just kind of go wrong at in the last race. 15th. Oh, you can see the disappointment there. Christian Blumenfeld sprinting down the finish line. Schumann getting his top 20. Sorry, McElroy's there. Christian Blumenfeld 18th. Strong from Bassatti and Bisak there, just getting inside that top 20. So running through from the second group to get there. Kenji Naina yet again didn't manage to make up so many places.
Well, how...
It's got Charles Paquet finishing as well. Jonas Schomburg, who was right up there all the way through that swim bike.
How much difference a year makes. DNF in Abu Dhabi in the grand final in November, Koenigs.
I mean, Hayden Wild hasn't moved from that position. I mean, that's it's just heartbreaking, and we know how much goes into these athletes put into these races, and it's it just goes wrong sometimes. And for Yi and Wild, it's gone wrong for the second time when it needed to go right, when it needed to seal in that World Championships. There's Luke Willian. And here's Alex Yi. I mean, there's the other man who's probably going to be just as disappointed as Hayden Wild is. But devastating there for Yi. And a big cheers there for. There's the photo finish. We can see there it was Helvig who managed to get that second place ahead of Lecour. So 2 French men on the podium, and Tim Helvig, what a performance. I mean, that's, and Koenigs as well. I mean, all 3 of them, incredible races. Not the podium many of us predicted. And there's Alex Yi as well. Hasn't managed. There'll be a lot of disappointment to deal with. And there's, I think, I don't want to be the one to say it, I'm sure the statisticians are working it all now and who's come away, but we think at the moment that Dorian Koenigs is the new world champion, but there were so many different kind of permutations of that. So Koenigs is the champion, Hayden Wild got second position, and Leo Berger getting a bronze. That is the World Series final. That is the World Championship overall. I don't think Dorian Koenigs there can quite believe it, sharing a smile. Tim Helvig actually looks stunned with what he's achieved, maybe just recovering. But yeah, Dorian Koenigs, I mean, he kind of has half-stamped that ticket to Paris by getting a ticket to Paris next year by getting his podium in Paris test event earlier. I mean, he's won everything. I mean, he's been a World Junior champ, a World Under-23 champ. He's been the European champ and now the World Champion. And I guess one of the Frenchmen who's gone a little bit under the radar with the dominance of Vincent Louis over the years, and then Leo Berger last year. They've got such a strong team. And it's Koenigs who has come through as their next World Champion. 2 years in a row for the French to take out the men's title. As Roberto Sanchez finishing there. He'd be a little bit disappointed with his result, but again, I think you've got to soak up the appreciation. There's a huge crowd here today for these athletes, and the Spanish athletes are probably getting louder cheers than most. McCluskey there finishing, Sato, so way down the field. Johnny Brownlee just talking to the team there, not the race he would have planned. I mean, he's been up there, he's been world champion. He goes back in 2012 and he was world champion. I think has the string for the most consistent amount of World Series podiums ever. I think it was a couple of years where he was never off the podium. Has that potential, we know that, but just hasn't managed to deliver it yet. As Wild and Blumenfeld, just post-race discussions. I think it's going to take a while for Wild and Yi and Co to get over the disappointment of this one. But here are the overall results. Dorian Connix coming in first, Tim Helvig second, Pierre Lecour third, then Berger just off the podium, Lascelles, Hidalgo, Lehman, Hauser, Michalchuk, and it was Hayden Wild that managed to run his way into that top 10 position. And we will have interviews with the winners shortly. It's just we're just making sure that all the points are calculated for the lower positions down the World Championship. But we'll hear from our new World Champion who won the race, and then obviously the others who are on the podium. 2 podium presentations to do today, one for the race today and then for the overall series as well. Still plenty of crowds hanging around who'll be enjoying the atmosphere and waiting to see a new world champion crowned. And Javier Gomez is here. Obviously, he's from Pontevedra, and I think one of the reasons why this race is such a success because the town knows triathlon, the town supports triathlon, and has come out to watch. Can't be Gomez this year, but have come out to support the next world champion. Huge transition there for all the age group triathletes that have been competing over the last couple of days. And here we are with the sprint finish, and there is Dorian Connix, and we'll go down to Trevor, who is having a chat with our new world champion.
Dorian, be honest, when you woke up this morning, did you think you were going to go to bed as the world champion?
No, I had no idea. I thought it was impossible. I just wanted to focus on my race and do a good race to end up a nice season, you know. But it's way better than expected.
Were you aware that the likes of Hayden and Alex Yi were struggling a bit in the water and on the bike?
On the water, honestly, no, because you can't see anything. But we really wanted to push the bike, because obviously they are running faster than us, and it has been the same race every time this season. So we just wanted to try something as a team, and I think it worked pretty well.
We haven't seen you that much this season, but when we have, you've been really consistent. Did it feel like a win was coming for you at this level?
No, as I say, Hayden and Alex really dominate this season, and I knew I could do a good race, but I wasn't expected to win. Like I just push as I can, and it was it's crazy.
Well, a great day for you and a great day for France. You're the new world champion. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Dorian. We'll say goodbye to Dorian, and we're bringing Tim. Tim, where did that race come from?
Yeah, I don't know. This was my A-level race for the season, so I went 4 weeks in altitude to prepare just for this race. And yeah, I had wings from the qualification in Paris and felt pretty good from the beginning. And just prepared for this race last 4 weeks, and it worked out well.
How important was it that lead bike group that you were a part of stayed well clear of the chasers?
Yeah, we tried to work together because the chase pack had pretty strong riders as well. So we swapped turns, and we could see the gap each lap, and it stayed pretty consistent. So we knew we just had to keep the pressure on until the final lap, and then we can have a 30-40 second lead on the other guys.
And German triathlon is looking really strong on both the men's and the women's sides at the moment.
Yeah, we're on the rise. The team is getting older, getting more experienced, stronger year by year, and I think we are about there. So the next years will be exciting.
Great silver medal, well done.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks very much. So we'll let Tim go. We're bringing Pierre. Pierre, so close. What an exciting sprint you gave us.
Yeah, I tried to win today, but it was not possible with Dorian and headwinds. But I'm really happy.
What information were you getting on the course about where Hayden was, where Alex was, and of course Hayden had the penalty? It was such a bizarre race.
Yeah, exactly. We knew that they were behind us, but I was not too focused on the on the ranking for over all year, because I wanted to make a podium today. So I didn't care. I was just trying to help my teammates in trying to have the breakaway.
And the win in Sunderland, and now this result here, it's been a good end of the season for you.
Yeah, exactly. All season was good. Started with a top 5, and then a top 4 at the test events was all right, but I missed the qualification for Paris, but now I get it.
Well done, enjoy the podium.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pierre, thank you very much. Oh, let's bring Hayden in. I don't know where we start, mate. Let's talk about the penalty first. We saw the swim cap come off. You just looked like for a moment you kind of froze. You didn't quite know whether to go back and pick it up or leave it. What was going on in your head there?
Yeah, I had to make a split decision. I know there were some fast guys in front of me. I flicked my cap off, and it was like I thought it just went into the water, and I was just like, but it didn't. So that was my mistake. But I had that decisive move. Alex was with me, and I was like, wow, if I grabbed it, in reality, I think I'd have been Alex's group and been 2 minutes behind. And if I left it, I wouldn't have made the. If I left it, I would have made the group, which I did. Yeah, I'm kind of gutted. Yeah, I did most of that work on the bike, and I was really trying to motivate the group. But, yeah.
We saw you gesticulating and gesturing a few times. Maybe if you had a bit more help, you might have got a bit closer.
Yeah, I just needed 20 seconds. That's all I needed. Yeah, I know Christian was a little bit ill. He started helping at the end of the rounds, and we had yellow there as well, but we had a good group and no one really wanted to work. I don't know, the pace was hot and the boys in the front were working hard, and I tried everything I could, and I ran as hard as I could, and I made the decisive move to take that penalty in the first lap just to kind of shake off the legs and hopefully get into rhythm, and it was actually the right move. So
you couldn't have put any more in because you're on that run. You left it all out there.
Yeah, I actually had a really good run out there. Super positive after the hip in Paris. So yeah, the whole race itself was really good. I'm pretty buggered now. I don't normally spew after races, but I did today. So. And
second overall, a small consolation.
Yeah, hey, one up above last year. Kudos to Dorian. If Tim won, I would have won again. So same situation like Abu Dhabi, one podium away, and I tried to catch Mr. Chuck, but just didn't have enough in the tank.
It's never dull watching you race. Thanks, Hayden.
Cheers, Trev.
Thanks, mate. We'll say goodbye to Hayden. Bring in Leo. Leo, what a valiant defence of your world title. You must be proud today.
Yeah, I'm proud of my teammates that helped a lot having another world title to add to the collection, the French collection. So, yeah, I'm proud the way we work together, and we achieved, I think we can achieve more in the future.
And you gave us a really exciting sprint finish. It was just a moment, I thought maybe you were going to get there ahead of your countrymen and retain that title.
Yeah, I believed in my chance in the last lap. And I just couldn't go any further. And it was a tough year, man. Personally. So I'm happy with how it went. And see you next year after a good winter. It will be
game on for the Olympic year.
Yeah, that's it.
We look forward to it. Well done today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leo. Thank you. Well, I don't know where to pick up after all that, Helen. It's an astonishing afternoon here. Let's confirm the Championship Series final standings. Dorian Koenigs, I don't imagine, well, even he said he didn't fancy himself to be world champion this morning, but he is. Hayden World gets second overall, and Leo Berger, as I said to him, it was a valiant defence of that world title, finishing third overall for the series. Alex Yee, in the end, back in 5th place. Yellow Gaines up to 14th. Tyler Mislorchuk finishes 12th overall for the season. Skuman gets inside the top 20. Well, a little look back then at what we've seen over the last hour and 3/4. And the drama really started in the water with the likes of Yee and Wild, who took a bit of a tumble there, and that wasn't the least of his troubles in the water. They were 48 seconds back after 2 laps. Numbers 1 and 2 in the field. No such problems for the big names in French triathlon, all the likes of Matt Hauser. Velassa was also in that leading group. Hayden Wilde, though, was playing catch-up. Started off around about 30-odd seconds back. Said he didn't get much help in that chase group, and he was some 40 seconds behind when they came into T2 and set off for the run. Hayden Wilde took that penalty for the swim cap coming off on the way to T1. Pearson was the early leader, but at the business end, it was Koenigs, Helvig and Lecour, the 1, 2, 3. Lecour securing his place in Paris off the back of that win. And it meant, of course, that Koenigs took the world title for the first time, ahead of Wilde.
And Lecour getting that Paris selection for next year as well, well deserved. They obviously have to still kind of do another good run next year to get it permanently stamped, but it's the first big step is achieved there. And Lasse Lurs, who also got selection because he's top 8 and in the Olympic rankings, so he's got up in the top 30, and Matt Hauser. So yeah, we had a lot of Olympic selections kind of stamped in that top 8 today.
Well, French triathlon in mighty fine shape, isn't it? When you think that Leo Berger was 4th. So 3 Frenchmen in the top 4, with just Tim Helvig spoiling the party from their point of view.
In 3rd place, and the winner of the bronze medal, representing France, Pierre Lecour.
Oh, he's delighted with that podium. A winner in Sunderland earlier this season, and now another podium to back it up.
In 2nd place, and the winner of the silver medal, representing Germany, Tim Helvig.
Second World Triathlon Series victory for the German after Hamburg on home soil 2 years ago. Still just 24. Only just 24, Helvig.
Yeah, and I think we think he's been around a bit longer, probably because of that win back a couple of years ago. But like he said, a really developing German team that seems to be getting stronger and stronger. I mean, he's already a world champion in the mixed team relay as well. So just feels like it's kind of coming into form just at the right time with Paris around the corner.
The new world champion is Dorian Koenigs after a superb performance here in the grand final. Able to out-sprint Lecour and Helvig with his teammate Berger back in 4th place. So one Frenchman replaces another as world champion in 2023.
Please rise for the playing of the national anthem of France.
So many permutations right throughout that race, and in the end, here's how they finished in Pontevedra. And of course, we're going to have the overall series presentation to follow, where Dorian Koenigs will still be on the top step of that podium. So Pierre is going to exit stage left, and it's going to be Koenigs, Hayden Wilde and Leo Berger who will be on the podium for the overall series, and that comes with much gold as well as the prestige of being world champion. $70,000 US for the world champion, plus 30,000 US for winning the race. So it's been a very productive day for Dorian Koenigs, very profitable.
And I'm sure that doesn't, like when you're sprinting for a finish, none of it comes in, but I guess afterwards that sinks in. And I think maybe when you get back to your hotel later, you're like, oh yeah, that's a good bonus to today.
And it was just a crazy race, wasn't it? We just didn't know until very late, almost to the line, who was going to be the world champion.
No, it's such a... Yeah, the lead changes so often. All the things we predicted or kind of were most likely to happen didn't happen today. And I think it's amazing because you see the people cross the finish line and it's the celebration, but you also see the other end of Alex Yee and Hayden Wilde, who have done so well this year, and their heartbreaking disappointment. But I mean, that's why sport's so incredible, that it can go from that heartbreak to joy in one race, in one sprint finish.
Presenting the 2023 World Triathlon Championship Series medals is Marcel Casado, World Triathlon President and IOC member. In third place, representing France, Leo Berger.
Great season for Berger, a surprise winner of the title 12 months ago. Just doesn't have poor races, does he? So consistent. All the French are, actually. Fifth in Paris, sixth in Abu Dhabi, fifth in Yokohama, third in Cagliari, second in Sunderland. And fourth here today in the race, third overall for the series.
In second place, representing New Zealand, Hayden Wilde.
I thought it was a very kind of sporting interview that he gave, because he must be really disappointed, especially if you said you'll finish ahead of Alex Yee and you still won't win the title.
Yeah, and I think it was how pragmatic he was about the penalty. It's like he didn't really have the option to pick it up. He would have missed the group, so it was the best option at that time, but just a really unfortunate mistake. I suppose just an accident, isn't it, to drop the hat? That's all it is. And but like you said, second place in the world. It's one up from last year. You feel like Hayden Wilde or Alex Yee becoming world champion will be inevitable at some point.
New world champion, Dorian Koenigs. Such a popular guy. We didn't see much of him at the start of the season, but he certainly made his presence tell at the back end. It's only his fifth race of the season, but top five in the previous four. And victorious today. 17th he was in Tokyo, the Olympics. European champion a couple of years ago. And the biggest win of his career today, as we hear for the second time, the French national anthem. Good to see so many of the spectators staying behind to enjoy the two ceremonies.
Germany in second. Allied in second position, Hayden Waller, New Zealand. And Leo Better from France in third in our series. Look at the smile.
Well, at least Hayden Wild's got time on his side, as has Alex Yee, of course. Both still only 25 years of age. And of course, next year, all eyes on the prize in Paris.
And presented by Ryan Montgomery, Essex Global Sports Marketing Division.
So all five of them now on the rostrum to spray some fizzy stuff around. The key to presenting champagne is to get out of range as quickly as possible. Well, it's been a long season, 8 months since we started in Abu Dhabi way back in early March. And we didn't know until literally the last few strides of the run who was going to be world champion. Well, I think if you perform like that, steady on, Dorian, if you perform like that on the biggest race day of the season, you deserve to win the title.
Oh, definitely. Deserve to drink all that champagne at once as well.
Champagne celebration for the best of the best for 2023. That final fantastic photograph to all the fabulous fans, the families, the friends, do not go away.
We'll just enjoy a few of these images. 3 French musketeers there. What a season, and what strength in depth the French have. Not just on the men's side, but on the women's side as well. Which brings us very neatly to tomorrow's women's grand final. Surely it can't be as dramatic as today's, can it? It looks on paper like Beth Potter versus Cassandra Beaugrand, but after what's happened today, who knows? We will wait and see. Please join us tomorrow. It might be Lombardi, it might be anybody else, and Gwen Jorgensen might qualify for the Olympics again. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage today. If you haven't, you don't like triathlon. From Helen, myself, and our whole production crew here in Spain, it's goodbye.